What is up, everybody?
Everybody.
Well, yeah, hi.
What? Sugarfoot just jumped out of nowhere. What?
Welcome to Funkatopia Live. I am your host, Mr. Christopher, and this is my incredible co-host with the grooves so infectious that the CDC tried to quarantine him, Mr. Michael Bland. It's in the house. What is up, big guy?
Yes! In the face! Yeah,
Yes.
in the face, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, in the face. I love it, man.
Oh my God.
All right.
Look at all you fine folks in here. April's been in here since about 7:30. Samantha, hello. Joni, hello. Sue Bailing, hey, how was going on? Divas for Social Justice. Oh, need to hear more. Clarissa from NYC. Henry, what's going on? Man.
You know all these people?
No, I'm just naming them out of the chat room. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of them.
I've been to Henry's house for dinner. Yeah, Henry, that was good spaghetti and meatballs, brother. You talking like you know.
Joe. Hey, Joe, say hello to the wife. Yeah, WTF, welcome to Funkatopia. You know, I did have my mug here, but you know, I don't know if you saw this. So you're gonna have to do this, but we have new mugs in the house.
Yeah, hey, while we're advertising mugs. You need one of these mugs right here is what you need.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
The illustrious Brothers mug. That's Sonny on that side. That's me on that side.
I didn't see. Was that on sale at the merch table at
No, it was not.
Okay. Where can they get it?
Man,
are you advertising something that you don't have for sale? Is that what's happening right now?
I can't remember the link. It's been so long since somebody asked me. It's on Bandcamp. It's under Brothers merchandise. If you get to Bandcamp, it's there. Next week I'll have the official.
All right. So these are for sale. Uptown Radio.
Go on, man. Go.
Uptown Radio on one side, and look on the other side. Funked Up. That's right. Funked Up on one side and Uptown Radio on the other. Funkatopia.com, funkatopia.com/shop. And we will actually put that Brothers mug up there on Funkatopia too.
Okay.
We'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, man.
I'll
We'll
make it happen. Man. Sorry. I would look back there and say, hey.
I caught you off guard. It's all good. Tracy from London. What time is it over there in Great Britain? Man, John,
too early.
John Frost had some good news. He said that he had some good news with a surgery or whatever. I don't know if there was any more details on that, but good news coming up.
Good news is good news. Yes.
Yeah, man. Keep those prayers coming. Uptown Radio.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
We got a great guest tonight. The one and only Cory Wong is in the house tonight. We're gonna have some fun. But let me tell you, there was some, a lot of crazy news going on. You had the Met Gala that happened, the gala or whatever. Van Hunt put up an image of him and Halle Berry walking into the Met Gala, and he was looking, he was looking dapper, and Halle had on this see-through dress that was just like, it was ridiculous. But yeah,
did this get past me that Halle Berry and Van Hunt are a couple now?
Oh, they've been a couple for years now. Yeah.
He must have been the secret. He was the man. She got the one.
Oh yeah, because let me tell you, and they make such a great couple. They vibe really, really well together. And
he's cool as can be, man. So
I love Van. Van and I were friends when he was based out of here in Atlanta. And saw him play a lot of times here in Atlanta because he'd had new songs, and he'd go to this little club downtown Atlanta called Apache Cafe.
Okay.
And he would play in this little hole in the wall club. It was right next to the big, the Olympic flame tower thing. And man, it was really, really cool. So I got to see him a lot, and he's a really good dude. He's really good.
Actually, me and Sonny worked with Van,
I think you said this before.
A sophomore record for Dion Ferris.
You did say this before.
Rich fired us, and then I talked to Randy Jackson, and he was like, "Oh, MB, what happened, man?" It was just time for us to move on. He's like, "Well, Dion's starting to work on her sophomore record for Sony or Columbia, whatever, whichever one of them." I can't remember. We're cutting at the Hit Factory next month, man. You call Sonny, man, see if he's available. So we went there. We cut somewhere in Atlanta, and we also cut at the Henson lot in with Dion. Different guitar players every time. Like Jeff Lee Johnson was on in New York. Van was on in Atlanta, and I think he was at the not the Hit Factory, but at the Henson lot also, along with a guitar player named Mike Campbell. He used to play with Chaka, and maybe like Cool in the Gang.
Very nice.
Yeah, but
very cool. Very cool.
Rest in peace. But yeah, so we spent time with Van. Man, I was just like, this dude he's the reincarnation of Teenie Hodges.
Yeah, Van is an interesting cat. You know, every single album he would progress a little bit musically, but then once he got to he had that album that was on Blue Note, and they screwed him, and he recorded this called the Popular, and it was a fantastic album. He got me a copy of it, even though it wasn't released. He got me a copy of it, and it was a great album. It made complete sense in the way that he was kind of putting these albums together. And then Blue Note screwed him and didn't release the album, and he was ticked. I don't know what the reasoning for it was, but they didn't release it. And then he released a couple independent things, and but because of everything that happened, and you missed that progression, you missed that huge piece, that Popular album, you missed that.
Yeah.
But the Popular album did eventually get released, like years like later. And it's a really, really strong album. So
right on, man. Yeah, definitely. Van was great, man.
He's good.
Sonny and I really enjoyed working with him.
So, yeah, you know, Prince's song "Dion" is about Dion Ferris. You knew that, right?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, she talked about it some.
Yeah.
I remember saying, like, it was like, well, what are you trying to say, Prince?
Yeah. Well, he said apparently he went to one of her concerts or whatever, and then they met backstage, and he was just completely enamored with her and just like totally smitten. And he wrote the song "Dion," which was on the Truth album. Yeah. And then she had no idea. And that's my wife's name, by the way, is Dion.
Awesome. But I just had a flashback of Randy Jackson just in the studio going, "Dion, what's up with your boy, man? What's this? Hey, dog, what is that? Chris crazy?"
So, yeah. So she found out that it was about her. Yeah. And she was like, "I had no idea. I mean, I wonder, she had no idea." So yeah, I mean, but he always he would get smitten, between Cindy Crawford with Cindy C and Dion, and he's always just kind of seemed to, that was his thing. So there you go. That was it, man. Well. So glad you guys are joining us tonight. We're not going to be talking about news. We're certainly not going to be talking about some crazy woman calling kids names on a playground and then setting up a GoFundMe account. And I don't know if you heard about all that.
I tried not to, but
you had no choice. It was just kind of just insane. I wanted to comment on it, but I was just like, I don't want to comment on it because I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because it's insane that this woman has raised like $700,000 on this GoFundMe. Well, it's not GoFundMe. It's like send something. I don't know what it is. It's insane. It's insane.
There's people who I'm still contributing probably to what's my man's name?
Yeah, and he did. Yeah, so for killing that
I gotta
kid.
Get it out, man. What's the dude's name? The George Floyd dude, the guy, the main dude, the main cop that went to jail.
Oh, Chauvin? Derek Chauvin?
Chauvin.
Yeah, you pronounce it?
I think Derek Chauvin.
I didn't know he has a GoFundMe account.
I think that they're constantly trying to get him out of jail, because God forbid a white man go to jail for killing a black man.
Well, yeah, he
allegedly.
Oh yeah, well, and see, that was the other thing too, is that some of these people that were donating to this woman's scenario who was on the playground, for those that don't know, I really don't want to go into it, but this woman called a black child, a certain name, and she was confronted. Now, you didn't hear her say it, but she was confronted by somebody who heard her say it, and it spiraled, and she lost her job and did all this other stuff. And
now she's
because she was angry. Well, it was because of the fact that the child stole something out of her diaper bag, but the child was mentally had some challenges or whatever.
How old was the kid?
Like, I don't know, young, like in the single digits, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. But anyways, so she went on, she said, I lost my job, help me out. And all these people are donating money to, and they're just like, I'm just sick of all this. This is ridiculous. And we're having to deal with all this white guilt, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, not only are they donating, but they're creating usernames that are really offensive usernames, like Darren Chauvin's knee and things like that. It's like, come on, what is happening here? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I wonder what that thing is that makes people relish in cruelty.
I don't know. It's just,
there's
and
a lot to be said. We will continue this next week, man, or after Wong, because we got to discuss this, man.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just I feel like where our country is at is really kind of, from the racism standpoint, is really heightened and accentuated right now, and everybody's feels like they've got to pick a side, and it's like, why are there sides here? But man, it's a pretty intense social stuff or socio stuff that's going on right now, man. It's crazy.
I've just had so much otherness going on, so much self-reflection and trying to get my own, thing together.
Yeah.
And also, I just, after that, you know what? We're about to bring him on, man. We can clear the air.
Yeah, we got a minute, but
I'm excited. I'm excited to have Wong on.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, and we will get into. We'll try to get into it next week. We'll try to get into it next week, because after we interview the amazing Cory Wong, who is in the green room right now, there's a couple things I want to talk about in the purple community, specifically celebration focused stuff. So we want to go ahead and get that out. And we have some other stuff, whatever.
Sure.
Shannon's like, allegedly stole. Well, it was like she allegedly said the name, and that just
that's a lot of allegedly for people.
A lot of allegedly. Nobody heard her say it. It was all recorded after it happened. So
a lot of allegedly, $700,000 on those allegedlys.
That's exactly right.
How about even the notion? They don't even need to hear the facts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
we'll talk about them. Yeah, at another time.
It's crazy. Yeah, man, it's amazing. Well, let me tell you, we're going to go ahead and get the show started. For those just joining us, welcome to. Actually, let me do this so I can edit it properly. Welcome to Funkatopia Live. I am your host, Mr. Christopher. This is my amazing official co-host of Funkatopia, Mr. Michael Bland's in the house.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right.
You deserve applause every single day, man. It's just
don't say that, man.
And tonight we have a very special guest in the house, a guitarist, songwriter, producer, based in Minneapolis, the incredibly talented and formidable, the maestro himself. Let's bring him in. The incredible Cory Wong is in the house.
What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
What is going on, man?
Wong!
What up, Bland? Hey,
you guys got stories. You guys have got stories.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
got yelled at by Michael earlier today already.
What I do? What
happened here?
You're not chilling.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, man. I was in a weird mood, man.
Not.
The pen was talking to me, man. He said he was. I said, "What you up to, man?" He said, "I'm just chill." I said, can't be." Every time I turn on Instagram, there's a new clip. There's a new album getting dropped. There's no way you are chilling, bro. Don't lie to me, man.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this because I was just like, as I was trying to kind of gather things, I was like, what do I need to talk about? There's so much I need to talk about, because he just like drops like album after album. And I was just like, it looks like you took a break. And then all of a sudden, Fearless Flyers 5 comes out. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here, man? You're just like nonstop, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I got Michael knows I'm an ambitious fella with a lot of bandwidth for certain things. And, after doing the thing for a while, you learn to trust your instincts, and you learn to trust the people you collaborate with. And, with the Fearless Flyers, it's easy because, we just write a handful of tunes, put some vibes together, get in the room with 4 cats, and it's like, well, 2 days later, the album's done. That was easy. And, with that band, it's like, I could edit it to pieces, but what's the point, So it's raw. It's the take. It's literally 2, max 3 takes per song. So the album gets made pretty quick. And, I run it through my mix template and the one that works for that music, and, make the tweaks where appropriate, get creative where appropriate, and then,
wow.
Let it rip.
Well, I'm not exactly sure if you follow Funkatopia on a regular basis much, or if I followed it over the years, but every year for the better part of 20 years now, I would say, well, not the Funkatopia best funk albums list. It's probably been doing it for at least 13 of those 20 years for sure. And started back in 2019 was the first time that you appeared on the best funk album in 2019.
Nice.
Every year I pick the 20 best funk albums of that year once a year comes to a close, and just kind of, and you're always seem to be on it. So in 2019, you had this one, the motivational music for the syncopated soul, that was there. And then in 2020, you were on it again for the Cory Wong and the Wong. Actually, the motivated music for syncopated soul was featured Sonny T and John Batiste.
Yeah.
Then you had Cory Wong and the Wong Notes that was there. And then on top of that, if that's not enough, we had the Paisley Park sessions that were in 2020.
That's right.
Yes.
The Paisley Park session, we'll talk about that as well. And Power Station that had what was it? Victor Wooten, Bela Fleck, Chromeo, Mark Lettier, Larry Carlton. There was like so many people on that friggin' album. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the following year, notice they all say winner. You were on the list every single friggin' year that's happened. And then in 2023, you released the Lucky One, but you were up against some really, really stiff competition that year. But that's okay, because in 2024, just last year, Metropole Orchestra, you're right there again. So unbelievable. So it's an honor, really, to have you on here, because I've been trying to get you on for a long time. But let me finally say in person, congratulations. After all these years of trying to get you on the show, I finally get to say it in person. Thank you for all the funk. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I don't know what you have against Bland over here, because Bland was on 2 of the tracks of the Lucky One, but he didn't make the cut, or what?
Yeah, they didn't like me back in 2023.
Oh no, that wasn't it at all. That wasn't it at all. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who all was in that 2023 list. It was pretty. That was a fierce year. There was a lot of stuff going on for sure.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, and since we're talking about that, I wanted to talk about, because I want to get into some of the collaborations, but definitely want to talk about the Metropole Orchestra, because this is just insane to me.
Yeah.
And I can't wrap my head. First of all, how in the world did you end up with this project? This is a project that is for those that don't know, Metropole Orchestra, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is an orchestra that's in the Netherlands.
Yes.
How did you even get into this project?
So I've been aware of the Metropole Orchestra for years. They are kind of like the premier orchestra when it comes to pop and jazz music. I'd put them up against anybody. I mean, it's an orchestra that knows how to groove. I mean, these cats can play. They can play to a click. They can play without. They can groove. They can play pretty. They're very versatile, and they understand pop music. They understand groove-based music, and they do jazz. They do all kinds of things really well. And they historically are known for collaborating with so many different artists. I mean, I remember watching videos of them with Richard Bona, Pat Metheny, Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of cats. And when the opportunity came up to work with them, it was a run of shows, and it was basically adapting a bunch of my existing music to do a run of shows with them. Like, let's adapt existing music, add the orchestra, do the thing. We got done with it. It was like, oh my gosh, that was incredible. What if we did something where I curate music specifically for this ensemble? Because anybody who makes music knows if you know what kind of colors you can paint with, you're gonna stare at the canvas in a different way. All of a sudden, there's different things available to you. So, when I'm the normal instrumentation that I play with, it's not small. I got an 11-piece band most of the time, so it's a large band. But when I know that I can have my regular 11-piece band plus 55 other musicians that are available to be able to work with, it's incredible because now all of a sudden it's these colors that I can paint with that I don't normally get to. And it's like, oh yeah, what would I do with the timpani? Oh yeah, what would I do with these tubas? Oh, we got a cat playing oboe. All right. Yeah. So all of a sudden there's these different layers and textures that I can do. So with the Starship Syncopation album, that whole album was written specifically for that ensemble and collaboration. It was a collaborative album. So it was a really special project, really fun. Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun.
Well, so do you know how to write sheet music for the oboe and I mean, I don't know how to write sheet music, but I assume, note wise, everything is the same, but there's got to be some type of restrictions. I mean, do you understand how to write music for all those different types of instruments?
I certainly do, but I also know when to give that assignment to somebody else whose life's work is that. So I can do it. Sure.
Wow.
In the same way, it's like I can lay down a drum track too if I have to, but I might as well get Mike to come in and play, So in the case of the arranging, I did mock-ups of here's what I'm hearing the role of many of these instruments. Here's kind of the main things. And then I would just write an explanation to the orchestrators or other arrangers I was working with. Hey, I'd like it to feel like this. Here's the momentum of the tune. Here's the energy arc of it. Here's what I'm thinking is the focal point. Here's what I'm hearing as counter melodies. Delegate as you need. And some of the tunes I had more information given to the arrangers than others. And sometimes I just let the arrangers run with it. And I know how to do it, but I knew that it would take me a lot more hours and it would suck some of the fun and life out of the project for me. Where I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's what they do. They have their templates, they have their things, they know exactly what to do. So I got Barbarella to arrange the title track. He crushed that one. Absolutely. I had a couple Dutch guys that work with Metropole Orchestra regularly.
Wow.
A lot of cats that I've just enjoyed working with a lot over the years to help that side of it. And also they know a little more specifically what that orchestra, like there was a whole list of here's how our orchestra likes to see these charts. Here's what they want. Here's how to make it easy for them. And I'm when I chart, it's just more like, here's how I do it, right. And then we just kind of figure it out. But it's too many people who would be confused if it,
So how nerve-wracking is that to be standing out there and kind of be like a focal point, almost like a first chair type of scenario where you're sitting out there with this guitar and you've got this huge orchestra behind it? I can't imagine that's like a calming experience by any stretch of the imagination.
To be honest, it wasn't very nerve-wracking to me because I was so prepared. And it was just very artistically and creatively fulfilling because again, I'm exploring and expanding my artistry and growing and learning and challenging myself in new and different ways. And anytime I feel nervous, it's normally just because I'm not really prepared. Or it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and it feels just a little too out of reach for me to be comfortable. Now, I like being challenged in the moment where it's like, okay, we're figuring this out. It's all improvisation. It's all there right there. But if I feel like other people have the script and I don't know and I'm improvising or I'm kind of trying to figure it out, then I get a little bit nervous. But because I came in there so prepared, honestly, it was just creatively fulfilling.
Man. Go ahead, Michael. You were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of thoughts, but I'm just, I'm using a little, I'm being a little more judicious because I know we got only so many minutes with Cory. And
No, it's all good. We're going to keep him all night, so he doesn't know that now. But it's, so I mean, I have to ask you kind of about your trajectory because it seems like you're always in the right place at the right time. It's just like it's like one great gig after another. It kind of seems like. What was that first? I guess with that first session that you did that kind of started that progression that maybe kind of kicked off the ball rolling. Do you remember what that pivotal moment?
It's funny because there's so many different avenues and there's so many different times where there was checkpoints that kind of define a new start to a part of my career. So at first it was just trying to make a living playing music and trying to get gigs. And it was like, oh, one of my teachers at college couldn't make a gig and they asked me to sub for their wedding band. And I came in prepared and learned the music. And all of a sudden I started getting hired all the time. My schedule could be as full as I wanted it to be playing gigs. So that was a huge checkpoint. And then it was, oh, I'm starting to play in projects that make money that also are a little more creatively satisfying as well. And there was Michael was there. It was the Larry Long's album release party with Billy Peterson and a bunch of the cats.
That's right. At that theater. Was it the
I'm trying to remember. I remember it's next to that Pink Lotus or whatever Chinese restaurant or
Ping's is the name of that place.
Oh yeah, Ping's. Yeah.
And their wings are incredible. Yes.
Oh, the Ping Wing, man.
The Ping Wing, brother.
Oh.
Wait, this is in Minneapolis?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you got to tell me where this. When I get up there in June, you got to show me where this. I'm a wing,
man. Okay, yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was a pivotal moment because I showed up and I met a bunch of people and played with a bunch of cats that all of a sudden became now a scene that I'm a part of. And then from there, it was just kind of growing and a bunch of random gigs. And then I got a gig with somebody in Nashville. I don't even remember which one it was first. And then all of a sudden that kind of broke me into the Nashville touring scene a little bit. So there was like a checkpoint gig there. And then all of a sudden it was hanging out with friends of mine that were just kind of passing through town that were musicians. We had a jam session in LA that was literally just at my friend's living room. And it turned out to be a Vulfpeck video and started kind of this whole journey with Vulfpeck. And then all of a sudden I decided I should do some of my own music. And I hired Michael and Sonny and our friend Ryan and John Fields to go into this studio called the Terrarium and cut some tunes just because I was like, I want to start doing some stuff. And then I feel like that was a checkpoint for me to start kind of my own individual career as an artist. So there's a lot of different gigs and a lot of different paths, but I do remember a lot of different places that kind of sparked new eras or new kind of scenes in my career.
Yeah, I mean, and this album in particular, is this the first album, your first one?
That's the first full-length record I did, yeah.
The great. So, because I've had some people that have asked me about this and wanting to know, I guess, are you going to be re-releasing this album? I guess this is a really, I only know like a couple tracks off of this, but I guess people are asking, is this going to be re-released at any point in time in the future, like maybe on vinyl or something?
I actually have never put this out on vinyl, and I need to. It is on my list of things to do. Thank you for the reminder.
Sure.
Yeah. I need to do that. I hope my manager is watching right now. Put it on our list.
Yes. We do. Go ahead, Michael.
No, I think I don't mean to correct Cory, or I just want to augment his story to include some of these guys he's still playing with that he started out playing with here in town. You know, Patar, Kevin, Yo, and the whole like foreign motion. Like there was a chapter in there you kind of skipped over.
Yeah.
And I only went back to it because you're still looking at the same dudes on the stage.
Yeah.
Almost, just a few more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we're kind of going out of order, but I do want to. You do have some fans in the chat room here, and Ben Griffin asked about the MSG, the Madison Square Garden, I'm assuming Vulfpeck show, and what fans should expect.
Yeah, Jack and I were just talking about that this week on production-wise, what to do. We're gonna put on the best show that we can. We got some fun surprises. It might look similar to the Palladium shows that we did, but just amped up. And yeah.
Okay, and then he also had a follow-up question. Also, how the song "Memories" came to be on the new Vulf album.
That's a great question. We, when that whole thing was happening for a while, and we were all hanging at home for a year or whatever, however long that was, the thing, Vulfpeck started putting out this series of albums called the Vulf Vault, and it was each one of them kind of focused on a different member in the band. Just a limited vinyl drop for those. And when it came time to do my album, the Wong's Cafe, I was like, well, a lot of these other ones, it's compilations where it's like all the songs that Antoine sings on one, and that makes sense. And the songs that Theo sings on another one, or bass features on another one for Joe Darts. It's like, well, I got a hard drive with a bunch of tunes that we haven't recorded yet. And I've got a bunch of other stuff that was demos that we were going to potentially use for whatever the next album was going to be, or even for the last album, stuff that just wasn't released. And Memories was one of the things that I put together as a demo to be for the next Vulf album after whatever the previous one was. And I kind of had it as a voice memo. And then when Jack said, oh yeah, go ahead, just put a bunch of new stuff together for it that's kind of focused on you and your guitar sound, I put that one together a little more seriously. And then it's like, oh yeah, we should actually do this as a real full band tune. So we ended up bringing that to the new album too.
Yeah, because I saw you had with Vulfpeck, you had done, I guess it's called Vulf Vault 5, Wong's Cafe. That was in 2022. Yeah. And so I guess I must have been disconnected. It's called Vulf Vault 5. Is that insinuating there are 4 more of those?
Well, there's actually, I guess there are 6 total. The only one that hasn't come out yet is Joey Dawsix, but it's just, it's just a different person focused on each one.
I see what you were saying, Michael. He doesn't stop. He just keeps.
Yeah. Don't ever try to tell me you're chilling.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just ongoing. It's just keeps on coming.
What's funny is that I keep thinking about, I watched like an interview of like Mr. Big on MTV, like back when like I'm the one who wants to.
Oh, yeah.
That was out. Yeah. And they had Billy, what's the bass player's name? Billy Sheehan.
Billy Sheehan
was talking about how you work all your life and then you finally get a hit, and then it's like now the work really begins. I mean, man. So, yeah. I mean, are you experiencing something like that, Cory? It's like, wow, now I'm up to my neck now.
Yes and no, because I mean, we're out on tour, and once the tour is, it's a lot of stress to get the tour up and running. And then once the tour starts, once the train has left the station, it's like, okay, we have some momentum. It's moving. The team is in place. Mm-hmm. Stuff's happening, and yes, it is a lot to do, but halfway through the tour, at some point I'm like, man, I should get some work done today. And it's like, wait, what do you mean? Like, bro, you literally just sound checked and you're about to go on stage. But I'm like, yeah, but like I need to do some work too. Like I got to catch up on work.
I'm fighting making a racist remark right now.
What?
Because the Chinese half must be the half that's telling you work.
Well, no. It is. I mean, my work ethic. It's like
I met your dad.
Yeah.
He looked at me like, you're not doing enough work. Sorry, Mr. Wong, I'll work harder. Howie, I'm sorry. At Bunkers. So what are you doing up there? Just your dad busted my chops, man. I love it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know where I get it, but
Yeah.
no, it's I don't feel like I mean, yes, I do feel like I'm working more than ever, but I also, because I've been able to find great people, teams of people around me, my booking, my managers, my band, Michael Nelson helping me with arranging
It's
for
a
the
team,
horns.
yeah.
You know, I have a great team around me, great tour manager. There's just so much stuff that gets done where I'm just like, yes, oh yeah, this is the thing. This I could kind of oversee, but I don't have to. Certain things I don't have to do anymore, quote unquote.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like the pressures of the whole thing is real, but I'm good for it. I liked it. I like it.
Yeah, no, you definitely you like to chop it up, man. You're a scrapper. I'll give you that, man. I really appreciate that about you because I mean, maybe if I was still young, I could power lift, and get a couple things going, but then I see Wong is just running circles around everybody.
I think a lot of that too. I think a lot of that may be the fact that I don't know you personally, obviously, but I think some of us that have ADHD, even before it was called ADHD,
oh yeah,
we have to keep busy like all the time in order to kind of keep that at bay, because your mind is just like constantly moving. It's a thing, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't have to know me personally. You know the thing. I'm sure you can see. Yeah.
I think
I can see it.
The first conversation I had with Ryan Listman after you kind of broke, it was like, who knew this dude was in the Empire business? What, like, he's got a podcast. I think it might have been when the Strat came out, when your signature Stratocaster came. I'm like, Cory Wong's in the Empire business. I get it now.
Yeah. So for those that don't follow you on social media, speaking of the podcast and stuff that you have, you just recently told a story about Prince coming to see you at Bunkers, and you and Michael having a little bit of an on-stage banter. I was wondering if you would retell that story.
That was an early time when I yelled at him.
I want you to retell that story for those who have not heard it. And then what I'd like to do is I'd also like to hear Michael's side of that as well, as far as his viewpoint. But we'll start with you, Cory.
Well, I was playing a lot of Bunkers, really cutting my teeth, learning how to play, getting, schooled by Billy Franzi and Michael and Sonny T and Johannes and all the cats there. Showing up every week, hanging out, watching, learning, sitting in, on one or two songs a night. And then eventually Billy, how Minnesota is this? This is as Minnesota as it gets. He had a bowling injury, rotator cuff thing, had to get a surgery, and he was out for 6 weeks or something.
Oh my gosh.
So I was filling in and playing on the Bunkers. And then I eventually also just subbed a bunch of other random times. But during that time, I was still, the band is always kind of tested. Bunkers is this it's this brutal, savage, just pit of, you better be like, the reason why I'm not scared and why I prepare so hard now is because of my training at Bunkers. It's like, you're getting thrown into a pit and Michael will call. It's like, oh yeah, you don't know Serpentine Fire? Cool. Let's count it off. And then it's like, all right. Yeah, I told you I didn't know Serpentine Fire, but you're counting it off. Okay, cool. And that was just like, that was the thing at Bunkers. And then next week you show up and he says, you know Serpentine Fire? And the only answer is yes. So that was the kind of environment. And, tensions are already a little high every once in a while. And then, but once the band's comfortable, get a little loose. And then, normally, if any time that Prince would come by, somehow news would get to the band like, hey, Prince is going to be coming. Or it'd be kind of obvious. They'd like clear out a couple of the tables in the area where he liked to sit. And it's like, oh, they must be clearing those out for a reason, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, band tightens up a little bit more. It's like, oh, okay, all right. The band's tightening up. It's like, what are we? What if Michael? You going back to a job interview here? Like, what are we doing? Like, let's just keep playing, But it was just sort of that, like, he's coming. We got to be tight. So we start. Band tightens up. You see the tables are empty. Stuff's about to come in. I don't remember what tune we're playing, but all of a sudden I start playing, and I'm playing my strap, but I start going into maybe a little more of a telly style tone. I start changing up my voicings, my feel a little bit, just trying to, put the Prince thing on it. And Michael looks over me, because he's always yelling, making sure everybody's staying tight. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing over there, Wong?" He's like, "Knock it off." I was like, "What? I'm sounding dope right now." I'm like, "Come on, man. We're doing Prince is coming. We're gonna do the thing." He's like, "If Prince wanted he goes, if Prince wanted to come here and listen to somebody sound like Prince on guitar, he'd just get up here and play guitar himself. So why don't you knock it off and start playing like yourself?" I was like, "Oh, I'm allowed to do that?" Sonny just looks over. He's like, "Do your thing, man. Do your thing, man."
That's right, man.
Yeah.
So what were you hearing, Michael? Were you hearing, was it like certain, I would know you would probably need to take a drink of water. Was it like certain, like a tone that like really set it off and you're like, oh, he's doing the Prince thing. What was the set off for you?
I can't always explain it, man. It's just, my ears, kind of, they catch it before my brain even understands what's going on. So it's just like, wait a minute. Like, people don't really understand what music is, man. If you really work with people, there is a transference of energy. There's psychic power, man. There's quantum entanglement, and I don't mean to get all spooky.
No, we talked about it.
You know what I'm saying, man. It's not weird, if you really want to understand the world, it's only frequencies and, harmony. And it's vibration,
Exactly. Right.
I'm saying it's like, it's just like I can feel when somebody's out of pocket because of the certitude of where I'm playing from. It's the same thing, only it's like, sometimes it's like, what's going on here? Like somebody's getting nervous. Somebody's reaching for something. It's like, it's like the force tells me or something. And I see Wong, like, and I start focusing on what he's playing. I'm like, oh, no. He thinks Prince is going to, he's like, and before I even knew what I was saying, it was out. And it's just pure truth. And fortunately, Wong is the type of guy who can accept constructive criticism. And not only that, rise and triumph just from a few short sentences. He would have blown it that night. Prince would have, he would have did them short steps and been out the kitchen, taking the back door out that place. I could feel it. I was like, no, man. Because I'll also share another story. I watched an interview of Wendy Melvoin talking about how she was in Lisa's hotel room, just kind of doing her like thing, like just playing voicings. And she didn't know, but Prince was out in the hall and listening, like kind of at the door, like, and Prince said to himself, I could really use that color in my ensemble. Like she's got something to bring to me that I don't, like Prince was always a student and he always was listening, and something in me just said, because you guys have been, Cory and Patar had been talking about, hey man, it's Patar, man, we can't miss the chance, man. Prince is going to, so I get it. Every young good player wonders, like, could I actually be good enough to get in that, get in there somewhere? Maybe Prince will see me. It's what happened to me at Bunkers, literally.
Yeah.
Prince came in, he saw me, he sat in and made up his mind, basically.
Wow.
So I knew that Wong was taking it serious, but I'm like, no, you've got to be yourself, man.
That was great.
Because that's what Prince will really respect.
Yeah.
And what did he tell you, Wong, when he got to talk to you finally?
That was the question. Yep.
Yeah. A comment that'll carry me kind of forever if I need, which was, hey man, you got a sound. You got a sound, man. You got a thing. Keep it up. You got such a great sound. You like have a unique voice on the instrument. And he just kept saying, like, you got such a voice, you got such a thing. And I think if I wouldn't have taken Michael's advice, if I would have been like, no, man, I'm looking for a gig, I'm going to barrel down and try to do what I think is going to be the best, I wouldn't have actually been myself. And fortunately, I've had enough people around like Michael and Sonny and my friend Theo from Vulf and Jack from Vulf and plenty of other people just kind of been like, hey, that thing, that's like your thing, isn't it? I'm like, what? It's just like this thing that I do. You mean other people don't do this? And it's like, no, like that's your thing.
That's
It's
right.
The more I kind of have other people around to hear that or acknowledge it, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hearing him say that, it was,
that's a blessing, dude. That's really awesome.
I've really been focused on that lately, man. It's like, it's difficult to see yourself accurately from the inside.
Right.
Like, you really do need people around that you can trust to tell you, like, because we can't know it all. Can't know what it's like to be us, and also know what it's like for other people to be around us. You know, people make observations that can really assist you in understanding yourself.
Yeah.
You know, now Sonny corrects people with a lot more love than I do. For me, it's just like, listen. I just, out it comes, man. I'm just kind of aggressive, and like, because I really take music seriously, and I want everybody else to also. So I change my tone when I'm talking about these things, because this is my life you're talking about. I got every accomplishment in my life, everything I've acquired.
Cory knows where I'm going with this, because I saw we were at. Never mind. I don't know. May I say, you know, Michael, I've known you for a long time. We were at the Together show, and we were in, and they were practicing, and I'm not going to say who, but there was somebody who was just kind of not falling in line, and that was probably one of the first times that I heard Michael go, "Okay, well, look, is that?" It was that so direct. It was just, I was like, I'm glad the doors aren't open yet.
You know what, Mr. Christopher? That's how I know the people around me love me, man.
They do.
Because they put up with me.
Yeah,
They can say, man, sure. Screw you, man. Who do you think you're talking to? But when you're right, you're right. So then the only thing to do is be humble enough to accept it and make a correction, make a change, you know?
Yeah. And I'm glad you found
excited about it. It's not, I'm upset because things are not functioning correctly. I'm not upset at the person. I don't even see people when I'm playing music. I'm going by what I hear. And it's like, no. It just comes out, man.
Yeah. So. You were going to say something, Cory? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've seen that 100 times. I've been the beneficiary of that several times. But also, I'm like, is Sonny really much? Does he really do it with more love? I'm like, maybe.
Okay, maybe he doesn't. But
yeah, I think you're more direct in person. But that's actually the funny thing about Bunkers. Bunkers is a place that will humble you. Bunkers historically will humble a person, because also a lot of people, they don't realize part of the Bunkers thing is, if you're being chastised for the way you play, odds are it's because they want you back and just want you to actually know the thing the correct way when you come back.
Yeah.
So if you're being kind of hollered at, odds it's because, hey, we want you around. And I don't think everybody realizes that, where sometimes, you know, I'll see the kiss of death is when somebody will get done playing and Michael just be like, yeah, sound good, man. Sound good, man. And then it's like, not seeing that cat again.
It's not even sounds good, because I really try not to lie to people. They'll go, hey, man, hey, thanks a lot for, hey, yo, all right, brother. I just go, all right, man. All right, brother.
No, all right, man.
All right. Peace. I don't give them the you sounded great, because you didn't. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even know you. Who are you for me to have to lie to you? You know, but still, you know, but that's what it is. It's that it's real constructive criticism is about love. It's not about, it's he's right. He's right. And I'm glad that he had the wisdom to see. I won't waste words on somebody who hasn't a chance. What's the point?
Yeah. And I'm glad you were able to find your voice and connect with that
Yeah, me too.
In time to receive. The first time, I don't feel like for all of my life, I don't ever feel like I have a distinct voice, even a talking voice. But I happened to go to Minneapolis, matter of fact, and I was in Electric Fetus. This is many, many years ago. And I was talking to this lady at the register, and this girl behind me goes, "I know that voice. That's Mr. Christopher." And I'm like, how you recognized my voice? It was just really strange to hear that. And what's interesting is that you were mentioning that your Prince had mentioned to you that you had your own sound. And last week we had the amazing David Garibaldi on the show.
Oh yeah.
And he was really animated about, going to kind of go down a little bit different path here. Is that he's animated about focusing on the feel of the song, because we were talking about how he had his own sound and he didn't even, he was just playing because he just kind of felt like, whenever I hear music, I'm just getting into it for the feel of the song and not getting too obsessed with the timekeeping of it and just focusing on what the overall needs of the song are. However, I've seen a few of your interviews, and you've indicated the significance for you of practicing with metronomes, and also the importance of 16th note strumming and all those patterns in order to study a groove. So I honestly see the importance of both, but do you feel like you lean more towards one or the other, or is it just part of the learning process of that particular song, or where do you feel like you lean more?
Well,
timekeeping or feel?
I mean, I don't find them to be. I think they're interchangeable, and they're
right.
You can't have one without the other. I feel like when I'm playing with a metronome, it's when I'm practicing with a metronome, it's target practice. And I am intentionally hitting bullseyes right now. I want to nail the center of the grid. But in certain games, if you're playing darts, not that I'm a darts guy, but I just know this analogy sometimes works. Like sometimes in the game, you need to hit triple 16s. And those triple 16s are over on this side of the board. So I got to hit this side of the board. I'm focusing on hitting this. It's not the center, but I'm hitting this side of the board, and I want to be able to hit this. And sometimes I want to hit a double 3, okay, whatever. That's on this side of the board, and I'm just target practice. I need to hit that one place. And the target practice is or if I'm, doing the bullseye thing, I'm practicing the time. But sometimes the appropriate thing for a song, it's like, here is the time. The dartboard's always steady, but like we're kind of all agreeing to feel the song. We're all kind of aiming for double 3s on this one, or like we're going for triple 17s on this song, so you just choose where to place it. So to me, groove and time, they're so interchangeable, and I think a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, music done to a grid is lifeless. It's like, no, if you're playing music to a grid and it's lifeless, that means you're lifeless. And you don't know how to bring the groove to it. And I know I see Michael nodding and enough because I come from his school of it. So
yeah.
I Michael, please fill in the gaps. But I know that we're
you're doing excellently. No, please go on, man. You're there.
No, I think sometimes music should be felt right here in the center. You hear certain stuff that a lot of the Minneapolis stuff, it's got a certain time feel that needs to just be right on. And I'll see a lot of people, like, a lot of East Coast cats play Minneapolis music, and I'm like, it's like everything is right other than you're just hitting right of the dart, like just right of the bullseye. There's certain music if you were to lay back punk rock music, it's like it's just not going to feel right, or if you rush D'Angelo's music, it's just not going to feel right. So, the time is steady, but where you feel the groove, it's really just about agreeing on where everybody is going to sit in relation to the time. So to me, the groove is kind of like where the band is all going to agree where to hit on the dartboard, but the bullseye is always the same.
Yeah, agreed.
Me too.
And I think music, and I do think that music has changed quite a bit. I mean, as far as like the style, and specifically with funk and your contributions to funk, have definitely kind of changed some of the face of it, kind of added a little bit of layer of sophistication, if you will. I mean, to be totally honest, just because of and how you keep expanding it, like working with Metropole Orchestra and things like that. It's really refreshing. And I think this is one of the reasons why you keep landing on the best funk albums list, is because you just bring so many different flavors. But I do have this is a heavy question. This is probably for both of you. Let me, I don't know how to phrase this. About a decade ago, maybe a little bit more than that, I wrote a post on funkatopia.com called "When Funk Went White." It is exactly what you think it is. And it spoke about how funk began and flourished in the 70s and 80s, and then basically another wave of cultural appropriation came in. It happened. Bands like Average White Band and Wild Cherry and Tower of Power emerged. And then, of course, as you kind of progress the timeline, you have bands like Vulfpeck and Lettuce and Chromeo and Orgone and Galactic and New Master Sounds and all these guys. Mm-hmm. Now, both of you are actively in the studio, and I don't really know where to go with this question other than to ask, why do you think that trend just kind of doesn't seem to relent at all? I mean, like you simply just don't see a lot of black funk bands out there anymore, other than the original bands like Zap and Midnight Star and stuff that are just touring with their original material. What do you think is happening, and what do you think is happening in that, Michael?
Let me lead off first, because I want to go back to something. What people don't understand, or they don't, what sometimes they don't understand about the Minneapolis sound, like Prince's music, once he got a hold of the Lynn machine, things became a lot like, that's a big component of the precision with which he's playing. He's playing to a drum machine, which he's programmed, and so on and so forth, But there is a certain metronomic quality, to 1999. Once Prince got that, he and Morris Day, I thought, were great drummers. I mean, they certainly held their time on those early records.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, sure. I'm not criticizing, but I'm saying what people call the Minneapolis sound is very much a matter of precision, like this metronomic sort of. It's everything's tight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's precise. I think that's something that people think it's like this thing that it's kind of loose, but it's sort of there's some Oakland in there, and there's some other unknown element in the Minneapolis sound. You know what I mean? So I wanted to address that first. It's like, if you don't if you can't play in time, you need to just leave our music alone. I'll say that.
Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Second off, I would say that this rash of white funk was preceded by a rash of white blues. Like,
that's true.
This is the
You're
thing
right.
that happens, and I this is one thing I don't like about my own people, but we invent types of music. We invent, and then we abandon our own, modes of expression.
So do you think that black bands have abandoned funk? Is that essentially what I'm hearing from you?
I'll tell you what it is that I think that it's somewhat, I want to be careful to frame this correctly. Music's music. If you're bad, you're bad.
Correct. We'll agree there.
But,
yeah, for sure.
No, I'm not even talking about like it being a race thing per se.
I know.
I'm just talking about the ways of my people is we invent stuff that makes the whole world go round, and then we put it down. We're on to the next. Mm-hmm. And I think that what I've seen is that, Johnny Lang used to come down to Bunkers when he was like 12, 13.
Yeah, Johnny.
His dad would bring him in there. He'd get on stage singing it. Well, the nighttime is the right time, and playing. But I'm watching a 13-year-old who probably ain't even, got nothing yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why are you making this young boy sing these old man songs? So God bless, David Z and and Bruce, what's Bruce's last name? Bruce McCabe. That's right. These are legendary people in the Midwest. You know, they figured out a way to, you know, to make him a viable blues artist, but kind of, you know, crossover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I first time I heard him, I was like, oh, you sit at home and listen to Albert King records, huh? He said, how do you know that? Come on, man.
You can hear it. You can hear it.
You're playing my music. I know what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's also a part of it. It's like, I bet there's probably more teenage Black people listening to the Ohio Players now than there probably was about 5-10 years ago. But, you know, people are discovering the past a lot more quickly now because of the information age and so on and so forth, you know.
Yeah.
And also some artists are, you know, sometimes the best music is a combination of something old and something new.
Yeah.
So I think that any music that was good is still good. It's just a matter of how you interpret it.
No, and it's still good. I mean, Cory and all the projects, all the millions of projects that he's involved in are testament to that, because they are still pumping out amazing, like really, really funky tracks, but still with a little bit of taste and a little bit of growth and a little bit of, maturity to it. I mean,
but that's because he's versatile.
That's right.
And also he loves music, not just funk.
Yeah.
You
so,
know?
Cory, do you have anything to add?
No, I think that's a great observation. I actually haven't thought about it that way, Michael. But also, I think it's people just. I think different cultures of people also just start playing different styles of music. It's like, you know, you're absolutely right. And certain things just all of a sudden, you know, what's after hip hop? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what.
I don't know.
Sure, but meanwhile, you know, like Afro pop has all of a sudden, you know, in the last couple of years really taken off.
Oh yeah,
you know?
totally.
So that's what I'm saying, is that invention is always happening with Black people. It's just one of those things. But I really, well, we do have a couple. There's like Chris Stone, Kingfish. Do you know? Have you met Kingfish?
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Kingfish is amazing.
You're always going to find a couple cats keeping the roots of it alive.
Black Joe Lewis, Gary Clark Jr. All those cats. Yeah, for sure.
So Eric Gale's even in a way, you know, I mean, he's not, he can play the blues, but I think he's a more versatile player than that. Like, he's got real harmonic knowledge. You can tell when he solos, he's, you know, showing you, hey, look, I can do these extensions also, you know?
Yeah.
And then he'll go into his classical thing, man. That cracks me up.
Yeah,
man.
he's sick.
He's bad dude, man. Bad dude. But
speaking of which, let's talk about Vulfpeck here, because since we're not really speaking of which, I'm going to migrate into Vulfpeck here. Tell me how you did say that you started just kind of doing some jam sessions with them in the early days of Vulfpeck, because a lot of modern funk purists really consider Vulfpeck to be one of the premier, you know, funk artists in this movement. You know, tell me a little bit more about the history. How did you meet them? Did you say you went to school with them or something, or what was the story?
No, I was the only one that didn't go to University of Michigan. So it was a University of Michigan band. And it is a U of M band. I went to University of Minnesota, but I met the cats at Bunkers. We were playing, and you know, it's one of those things where you're just like looking out there and you can tell who the musicians are in the crowd by the way they're watching and all this.
Yeah, or the way they walk in with their soft bag on their back. I thought I'd bring my guitar in case
they're knit back.
They might ask me to sit in, so I just thought I'd bring my axe.
Now, before you go on, who was playing? You were playing, or they were playing?
We were playing. It was Mambo's Combo.
Mambo's Combo. Okay, all right.
And some of the guys from Vulf were in town playing for a friend of ours who was on the TV show Glee, Darren Criss, and he was in town playing at the Varsity Theater. They got done with a gig, and one of our mutual friends was like, yo, you got to check out Bunkers after your gig. So they all came over and we just met that night, started hanging out, had breakfast the next morning. I was going to LA a lot at the time, doing a bunch of work things, and we would start to hang out. And then eventually, we were friends for several months first, and then eventually just started hanging and playing a little bit, recorded on an album, started playing some live shows, and then I was just kind of absorbed into the band. It wasn't like any signed paperwork thing. It was just like, oh yeah, I guess I'm in this now.
Yeah, you were like just a natural fit. I mean, and also Cory was telling me about these guys. I was like, no, I never heard of them. He's like, you should check them out, man. They got videos on YouTube. Like they're really kind of doing their thing, And then Cory, God bless him, he hooks me up with Vulfpeck. We do the video. We do Hero Town at Flowers.
Oh, great song. Yeah.
And, and I had not been I still don't do a lot of social media. I don't film myself playing. I'm like, I'm cool with having a little bit more mystique, but, that was one of the first, that might be the first clip that I was ever in that kind of went viral. Yeah. I was like, 1 million people saw this. What? They kind of revived my brand. They put me they introduced me to a whole other audience,
Yeah. And let's not forget, we have to mention Antoine Stanley too. I mean, that's,
oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys are just monsters. And, since we're talking about collaborations, first off, when I was doing the research, whenever I search for Vulfpeck, how Google always says, people also ask. And one of them was, is Cory Wong now a member of Vulfpeck? I was like, I guess you're there quite a bit. So, and you got a Madison. I mean, are you touring with them right now? Active? I saw this MSG tour that we just talked about. Is that just a sitting gig, or are you like doing this whole tour with them?
I mean, we don't tour, we do. I mean,
they don't go
just pop up.
It's better if people don't know. That's the kind of funny thing. It's like,
there it is.
Are you in the band? It's like, oh, you mean,
yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I do more than just play guitar, but it's actually kind of fun to like, I don't know.
Yep. Sometimes. I don't know. I haven't heard from those guys in a while. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, so another collaboration I need to ask about is obviously with Dave Koz. I mean, he is a literal jazz legend for many generations of musicians.
Oh yeah.
What is it like walking into the studio with someone of that caliber? And first off, how did you get collabed with him, and how much of a nervous wreck are you to start working with him?
Oh, I mean, Koz he's just the greatest dude. So I wasn't nervous at all because it was just a fun hang. The whole thing started as just this fun quest to hang with Koz on his cruise. And he's just the coolest dude. So, he's the thing that the funny thing is, when I first was aware of Dave Koz, I'm like, honestly, this guy, I don't love his stuff, man. And then I saw him live. I saw live videos. I'm like, where's this? Why isn't there an album of this stuff? Because he's ferocious on the instrument. He's got all the Maceo stuff down. Like, he's a funky sax player, and he's got this ferocious energy that you don't always hear in his albums, but his live shows, you get it. So, you put a cat like that in situations where you kind of make him feel like the underdog. Like, the first several times we played, it was all with my crew. Like my crew of people, my studio, not my studio, a studio that, kind of my home rink, and I invited Ricky Peterson to play keys because I knew they knew each other from the Sanborn stuff. So it's like, I'll throw him a bone. I'll let him know, I'll give him one person who can be like, yeah, he's vouch for us. But here's some tunes that I just put together. Boom, boom, put them in a room, and almost make it feel like, oh, I gotta kill this. It's like, yeah, and in that act, it like really gave him this energy that he hadn't had in a little while. And it was just really fun to play with him because I knew that he was that good. I just wanted to see him give that energy in an actual album.
Now, the couple out, I've seen the Koz Nod And I've
Yeah.
also seen the Golden Hour. Is there more of work with you two besides these two albums?
No, those are the two things that we did.
That's, I mean, it's great to be able to kind of lock in and kind of be a part of that history, because again, he is a jazz legend. So it's kind of like the cachet of being able to play with somebody that big, somebody be able to play with a Miles Davis or play with a Prince or play with, Dave Koz or David Sanborn or any of these guys. It's just, so good on you, man, because that's like fantastic. And another person that's like that, obviously, is the amazing John Batiste.
Yeah.
Let me just say, this guy is just, he's gotten a lot of major recognition and a lot of traction with his career over the past few years. And with the, it was an American Symphony documentary that was on Netflix following, all that, the rise, and also covered,
right. Mm-hmm.
and they also cover the battles that his wife was going with leukemia, right? Was what
she was dealing with cancer. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. So how close are you to them as personally, or is it just studio?
Yeah, John's a great friend. We started as friends. We played on a couple. We met actually in St. Paul playing for Live from Here, which was what took over Prairie Home Companion. He was a guest host, and we just played a show together and became friends. Ended up talking in the green room after for an hour, and he invited me to come hang on the Late Show because when he was the band leader on the Late Show.
Wow,
hung for a couple weeks playing in the show, and we just wrote a bunch of music together, recorded a bunch of music together, just hung out in the studio and talked about life, talked about music. It was beautiful. We recorded that whole album of his We Are album, and we did a collaborative album together called Meditations. It was just a bunch of time together in the studio, just talking about life, and it's great. He's such a great dude.
Yeah, how happy are you for him, man? Because even watching that documentary, I was thinking, this dude is so down to earth and just, family first. Just really, just seems like one of these guys that's just, very, very in tune with himself, both, spiritually and musically and everything else.
Yeah, he's great. I'm so excited for him. It's really fun to see.
Man, he's just a monster.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next thing here. I had never even heard of this, and let's see if I can pull this up. Can you tell me a little bit about? I don't know anything about it. What is Misty Boyce, or who is Misty Boyce? What is this?
Oh, so this picture is from a PBS filming thing that we did at 7th Street Entry.
Uh-huh.
And it was us and Misty Boyce. So they do this showcase thing of Minnesota artists, and Misty also lives in the Twin Cities.
I think the show's called, is it called Stage?
I think so, yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing that TPT does, yeah, for public TV. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Soul Asylum did it. I remember. Yeah.
That's
you guys,
right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did this show at 7th Street Entry. Misty played a set. I played a set, and she came up and sang with us too. And they interviewed both of us, and we talked to each other about music. And that was a fun event, because I think the show before this was like some festival. This was last year, but I remember going from like playing a festival in front of 20,000 people to literally the next weekend playing this at 7th Street Entry, this small club. It was such a cool change in energy. It was fun.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think it was a PBS special, and it was actually, I guess, on rotation in PBS up where you guys are. We'd love to be able to see some of this stuff and just get access to this. I don't know if this is like accessible.
It's online.
It's the whole thing?
Go to tpt.com. I'm sure it's there.
Man, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yep.
So, and we kind of mentioned this a little bit, but let's talk about, because I want to wrap things up for you, because I want to be respectful of your time. Tell me about this Fearless Flyers 5 that just came out. What, like a week ago? Is that
vinyl pre-order just started? The album comes out.
It's not even out
next week. The album officially releases next.
Next
Friday. So, new album from the Fearless Flyers. We've been just really excited, doing a bunch of collabing back and forth, writing. And, I would send tracks to Mark and he'd be like, oh, this one's just good. Just leave it how it is. I'm like, okay. Or other ones, he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm hearing this other idea, or give me the stems. I want to play with this. I want to change this and that. And he would do the same, send something to me. I'd be like, oh, this is done. Just like, let's just add this for the form and then this, or, I would be hearing something else. And we got together in Burbank, kind of did a day of setup and sound check, ran through each song a couple times. And then the next day we recorded 3 songs. The next day we recorded 3 songs and the album's done.
It's just a machine. Michael, you were right. He's just a machine. It just like keeps on going. My brother is in here. Many people don't know that I have a brother. I do. Andy's in here, and he was asking, wait, does Cory have ADHD? Because both my brother and I have ADHD. and you kind of confirmed it a little bit. You were mentioning the fact that it's pretty insane. Yeah. It's got to keep moving. And speaking of which, we got one more thing that I want to ask you about, and that's, I saw this. What is this syncopated summer camp? I've never. Is this a week or just 3 days?
4 days. Dude, 4 days. This is so much fun. We did this last year, and it's a summer camp. We take over this hotel, and every day there's morning kind of breakout sessions for, the instructors are all teaching in different rooms, and you can kind of just choose. We say, here's the topic for this person who's teaching at this time. So morning breakout session, and then a morning master class with the whole camp with one of our special guests, kind of a hang in the middle of the day. And then in the afternoon, another kind of breakout session, another big master class. And then we do a big concert at the end of the night. And then after the concert, all the like ballrooms and offices and things in the hotel and the main bar and the lobby, we just turn them into jam rooms. I got bunch of drum sets, amps, keyboards, PAs in all the rooms, and people just get together and jam. It's such a fun time because, there's people from all kinds of instruments coming from around the world, and just hang and play music and learn from each other. It's absolute blast.
Any vocalists that walk into this, or?
Yeah, some. I mean, as far as our special guests, I mean, Joey Dosick and Theo Katzman, both incredible instrumentalists and musicians, but they're singing, they're talking about songs, because also, for these instrumentalists to learn, what do singers want from us? How do I best play behind songs? It's nice for instrumentalists to be able to hear from band leaders and singers that are able to articulate that to them.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So it's called Cory Wong's Syncopated Summer Camp. So how many of these have you done?
This is my second one. We did one last year. It was absolute blowout. We're doing it again this year. So it's great. And we limit the number of people that can come, so that way it stays pretty intimate. It's cool.
Man, and it's in a very hip spot too. It's Nashville, so you can't go wrong. I mean, there's no downtime anywhere. Man, that's just it. So is there any other projects you want to let us know about that? I mean, you obviously have the Fearless Flyers that's literally just about to come out next week. What else is going on? There's got to be a few other things that we don't know.
I mean, Michael's coming. Michael and Sonny are getting in the studio with me on Thursday and Friday. I'm cutting.
What?
I'm working on a bunch of new songs.
I mean, it's for what? For the new album of yours?
Just hey, you guys give me a couple days. All right, man. We don't ask that many questions. We just, there's going to be some music involved. That's about all.
We're just always plugging away.
Yeah. You never know what you can come up with.
It's good. It's fun.
Well, we got a couple of tracks that are on. We have an app called Funked Up that plays 24/7 funk music. It's ASCAP licensed. We have we actually play a couple tracks from you as well. So I'm gonna have to reach out for you for a bumper to put in front of those songs.
Yeah.
Man, it's been an honor. Michael, did I miss anything? What?
I don't think so. I was just gonna. My one thing. I saw you interview George Benson, and I was like, that dude. I can't believe Wong got to interview George Benson. I worked with George Benson back in 1995 on an album called That's Right. It was me and Ricky and Paul Peterson, and I think Tommy LaPuma was there.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, I wonder if Wong thinks as highly as I do of George Benson. Like, what was that like sitting with him, man?
He's the king. We were on the same festival bill in France at this Roman amphitheater in the south of France called Jazz à Vienne. I was opening for George for this festival, and it just so happened that he and I sat down at catering at the same time, across from the table from each other.
Boy.
And 45 minutes of stories later, it was he and Pitar and I just sat there, and he told us story after story after story, and we're hanging, and he's like, hey, man, I like you. Was that you sound checking earlier? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dang, you guys are good. Blah, blah, blah. And so, so we hit it off, and then I interviewed him for my podcast. It was a dream come true. And then, speaking of the camps, he had a camp 4 months ago, and he invited me to be an instructor at his camp. And we talked about that album. He was telling me about hanging out at Paisley Park.
All right.
And he was telling me, because Ricky was there too. So
yeah, and chain smoking going, George Benson's in there. you know, I got freaked out because Ricky and Paul were so freaked out.
I know. They were telling me the whole thing, man. It was fun. And, George is just such a nice dude, man. Like, really yeah, he's an absolute hero. He's like my number one guitar hero, honestly. And wow. But he's just such a great dude. I mean, he's so cool, man. I mean, how many people can say that like they reached the pinnacle of jazz hero and also reach the pinnacle of pop hero and like have the pop hit? It's like,
how many jazz multiple? How many jazz musicians sell 30 million records, man?
Multiple pop hits, by the way. Multiple pop hits.
Absolutely.
So, he was.
Anyway, I really felt like, okay, Wong, you've arrived now, because George Benson is an institution. I know there's a lot of bad dudes out there, but if you're talking about strictly like just concept, every day in the studio, Benson changed his language entirely.
Dude,
you could hear him working on like a sort of his conjunctionary phrasing and this, and like the devices he was using to modulate. All that changed every day. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Yeah. It's just 12 notes, but he was so inventive every day, man.
Brilliant.
It was crazy.
That would have been amazing to see. You can hear it in his music, but that would have been amazing to see it kind of in its
every day you just walk in and you go, okay, and then he's not playing anything he played the day before.
Yeah. That's insane.
Well, and I did mean to ask you, you did mention this in passing, and I'm sure that these purple people are going to be upset if I don't ask before you go about the Paisley Park session, that album specifically. And, what was your thought concept behind, I mean, obviously recording a session at Paisley Park is, iconic in itself, but what was your thought process and idea with that album? Were you trying to be more... Were you consciously thinking about what Michael was saying about don't be Prince, do use your own voice? Because here you are in Paisley Park, and that seems like you would want to lean that way.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing our thing, man. It was just like, let's film. Like, we wanted to try to film something that we could, like a live session somewhere to live stream.
Yeah.
So because we weren't really doing shows still. So it's like, let's find a legendary studio, get in the studio together and record the album, just cut it straight down. And then it ended up where the internet there wasn't, there was a, the funny thing was like, we want to preserve everything exactly as, he left it. And I'm like, yeah, but like, if you're a studio, Pro Tools 8, like, I don't think Prince would have been hung up on you updating Pro Tools or the wireless router. Like, I don't feel like that would have been a hang up. But respect. So,
sure. Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's mainly a museum, and that's the problem. You need people who are capable to make such decisions. Everybody doesn't know what's required to do this or that.
Yeah, It's
And I
not
think
like
that it's-
we're changing out the
Yeah.
like the console. It's like, no, we're just if we updated Pro Tools, this would be good for everybody to use. But like we can't like this,
Right.
you know. So it was an amazing experience. We didn't end up live streaming it, but the room sounds insane and the mics are incredible, and it was just such a fun and special time. And it was Sonny's first time walking in that building for years, and he was just like, whoa. And then he was hollering, trying to get one of his basses off the wall that was behind glass, and then
What? Whoa, what's that story?
he's like, that's my bass.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to find the right guy to get his bass.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not your bass. It's like, I'm like, who else would have had a left-handed bass strung up? Like, it's Sonny's bass.
Sonny's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Wait, so there's somebody under the impression that it was Prince's bass and then they put it up on the wall, or did it have Sonny's name on it? I guess it didn't because I didn't.
Here's probably what happened. It probably got left accidentally because when Sonny got his endorsement with Warwick, Prince heard Sonny's bass, was like, I want one of those. Prince had the thumb bass, which was the white bass with the eye on it, the one-eyed bass.
Mm-hmm.
To Warwick, right?
Yeah.
So they just started sending. Sonny had a gold flake thumb bass. Sonny had a Warwick that had the lyrics to the song Gold all over it. Like there were so many. They probably just thought, well, it's Prince's building. They probably, it's just they automatically think everything that's there is there because of him.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah, but that just kind of goes to show some of the things that we're experiencing now is like just like Cory said, how do you look at a left-handed bass and
say that's not yours?
It's like Prince likes to do a lot of different things.
That's
but
what
that
I'm
wasn't one of
saying.
them.
There's a basic level of ignorance when it comes to the musical aspect of what's going on out there. And there's plenty of people who know better. If I was them, I would hire one of the old engineers that used to work there. Who lives close by. Sure. It's like I really think that place. I understand they want it to be a museum, but it can't be a tomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a fine line, man. I think that place could still have some new life breathed into it if it became a place where things were created. If it became a place where things were studied. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about that because there's like a few ideas that we threw out. Teaching kids music, every single bit of music, the production of it, the playing, everything there in Paisley Park. The allowing the older bands to come in there, like the Family and the Time and all these bands, and actually go in there and record brand new music in Paisley Park, which had significance in itself. There's so much that they could do to make that into an actual, really good, professional, functioning facility, but they're so wrapped up into the tourism part of it and and I understand that part, but there is a way to separate it out. There are already parts of the building you can't go into anyways. So
yes, it's not an easy pivot, but I think it would be worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, okay. Wong, I know you got to run, man, but
this Lou says, thank you, Cory, for your incredible shows in St. Paul last fall. Eric and I attended both shows as guests and said they loved it. So
nice. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. This is great.
This has been an honor, dude. Thank you so much for hanging with us, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the maestro himself, Mr. Cory Wong, man. Oh my God.
And when the record we're working on this week comes out, you should come back.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Part 2.
If it gets out, we should talk about it here.
All right.
All right, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only.
Word.
Cory Wong. Thank you, brother.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you.
Guys, thank you, bro.
Okay.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right. There he is. The one and only Cory, man.
I told you he was cool, man. I told you Cory was cool.
Yeah. Brother. Oh, man. I didn't doubt you. I wasn't. There was no doubt. I got to keep one of these.
I told you he was cool.
Do you have a back scratcher around you all the time?
Always. Yes. Brother. Brother. All my life I've been looking. My brother, Numsy. You have an itchy back too, huh, brother? All right.
Oh, all the time, man. All the time.
Man.
I know because I sit in this chair all day, and it's like, man, there it was. If you missed any part of the show, obviously, as soon as we're done here, it will automatically be available for you to rewatch from the beginning. on Facebook.com/Funkatopia, X.com/Funkatopia, and YouTube.com/Funkatopia on the live tab on YouTube. Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. Please do that. Please do that. I had a little bit of a post that we'll kind of weave into here in a second, but anyways, yeah, be able to do all those things. And all right, let's migrate on to the next thing. Yes, Cory Wong, awesome. I can't wait to hear some of this new stuff, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Me neither.
It's like, and you never have to wait long. That's one cool thing about being a Cory Wong fan, is that you'll get something and then you'll be like, right when you start to get itchy for some new stuff, just a few weeks later, something else comes in.
No, he's always got one in the clip, man. He's always working on something. Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to talk about the celebration, because a lot of people, but not right at first, because a lot of people are talking now that they've kind of released the schedule, which is unusual. They don't normally release the schedule in the previous celebrations, posthumous celebrations that they've done. Normally the schedule is something that they give to you when you go to pick up your badges. It's never been something they've kind of freely said, hey, this is what's happening here. So this is really unusual that they did it this far in advance, but there's some questionable things that people want to talk about, and they've been texting me, are you going to talk about this? Yes, I'll talk about that. But to kind of segue into that first, I want to talk about the purple community, because you guys got to have some little bit of heads up here, because the podcasting community, well, just the purple community as a whole, as podcasters and online shows and whatnot, I really don't understand what's going on, but I'm starting to see these little signs and signals that have kind of been dropping, and I'm sure that a lot of you out here probably have seen it too. You may have seen my post that I did earlier today on these new AI-powered Prince Facebook groups that kind of have been popping up everywhere. It's this weirdest thing. There's one that's called the Prince Online Fan, whatever. There's another one called Prince Purple. And basically, somebody has set up these AI bots to strip information from various sources, whether it be just from a variety of different places, blog posts and stories and news clippings and whatever. And they take little innocuous pieces of information, and then they grab what they feel is a relevant photo and they kind of stick it on there, and they release at a pretty steady pace. And I guess what's a little unnerving about it is that a lot of times it's inaccurate, or it's just doesn't have a lot of accurate information, or something is wrong with it, or something is just weird. Like it will say hashtag love for one Prince instead of love for one another. It's like these little weird little things that you're kind of like, why? I don't understand. So these things are popping up regularly, making it really, really difficult to kind of separate, who's actually out here doing the work, and who's actually doing the work, and who's, what are these bots doing? And the reason why these people set up these bots is because if you know how to create an AI bot like this, and you can get people interacting, which Prince fans are, they are interacting in YouTube videos too. Thank you, Joni. I mean, what's happening is that if they can get people to interact with it and follow it, then Facebook runs these ads that run alongside of it. And then these people that create these bots are getting ad revenue from Facebook just by getting Prince fans to interact with these various groups. And I don't think there's anything inherently bad about it. I mean, other than the fact that it's deceitful. But I'm trying to think, like they had one where they create AI photos. There was one that I saw that had an AI photo of Prince on the stage, but it was a picture that was taken from backstage, and it looked like Prince sitting in a chair tuning his guitar, and it looked like a real photo, but it wasn't a real photo. It was an AI generated photo. And it's like, wow, this is a lot. And the reason why I kind of bring this up is because, when you look at how active the community used to be with legitimate people, it's a little bit disconcerting. I mean, I'm glad that we're still here. AI can't do what we're doing right now, that's for sure. But you get guys like Funkenberry. He's obviously dealing with a lot of health issues. We've kind of talked about this.
Oh yeah,
we kind of dropped about this a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been out of the loop for a while. Some sporadic posts whenever he can. Michael Dean and Podcast Juice, he used to be very, very active online. He's kind of pulled back on the quantity of videos that he's done. Eloy, Prince's friend, he's just stopped. I had him on the show last year and he was just like, yeah, I just don't do it anymore. I just can't. I mean, there's a lot of groups and a lot of people that have just fallen out completely. And some of these groups have actually been taken over or hacked by AI. And matter of fact, when I brought this up, there was a guy named it's Pejman. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Alagamadan. That's my best guess. He's the one that started the Prince group called Prince Pics Galore. So anybody that had Prince photos, they could come and they could put their photos on here. And it was really cool in the beginning. He did a lot of cool. So Pejman, thank you for starting that up because that was a really cool site. And you got to see a lot of photos that were rare and whatnot. But he says here in this quote, I'm saying this for audio folks. So Prince Pics Galore was a Facebook page I created shortly after his passing. I grew up to 116,000 followers and it was primarily only Prince pictures. And he says, a little over a week and a half ago, I was invited to be on somebody's podcast who was pretty official. It seemed through their email, but it turns out they were hackers that ended up getting into my Facebook account and hijacked the page and blocked me and my admin from it. He says, I have zero control over the page and I can only see it from another account. Sadly, from what I see, the person has other motives. They put pictures of Prince on every once in a while, but they also put quotes in relation to Trump and Musk, which has nothing to do with the page. And they've already lost about 2,000 fans since, he started. But he says, I'm massively disgusted in how they went about it and what they did. And even worse is trying to get through to Meta support. They have not responded to one of my 5 complaints. So he's been seeing a lot of these AI generated Facebook pages. And he says, thank you for speaking on this. And thank you for being a trusted servant in our purple community. You're welcome. But that's so it is the thing that's happening. This whole AI takeover is just, it's a lot. It's the activity that's happening here is pretty pretty extreme, and we're seeing people just continue to drop off. Matter of fact, good friends of mine from Purple Genealogy, they're doing their gold experience last party. So Audrey and those fine folks, they're doing the last, Nadine and them last party. They're done. They're doing it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm wondering if heard something that the women's club might be closing.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Maybe that's part of why this is the last one.
I mean, they could technically have this event pretty much anywhere they wanted to if they wanted to.
That's true, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that's just. And Greg says that Ricky Frieza's Facebook page is. Oops, wrong one. It just clicked. Facebook page got taken over. So yeah, it's happening, and these anyways, they just he says careful. Jody says sounds like the bots are targeting pages with high followings indiscriminately. Yeah, of course, because if you can grab and take but before I pull this frame down, Purple Genealogy, June 4th, which is the week of the celebration, which is the Wednesday, that's at the Women's Club in Minneapolis. Tickets are $61. There's gonna be raffle baskets. Matter of fact, Funkatopia has got some stuff inside those baskets. They got a photo booth. It's going to be a lot of fun. DJ Willie Adams is going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. There's the Eventbrite thing. If you want to screen capture it, I'll give you a second to screen capture it or do the QR code. I'll give you 10 seconds to do that if you want to. But it's just disheartening, just kind of just watching all these people just kind of just a little bit drop off, and it's just like, okay, we got to keep on moving here. We got to keep on doing what we need to do to move this along. And I've heard multiple people say that they're just over it, and they just don't like the challenge of it all. It takes too much energy. It's just too much. And they're not just talking about the AI stuff. They're talking about everything that's kind of going on with the celebration. And I guess the way the kind of things are being run in their view, in their opinion.
Sure.
And just to be aware that groups are dropping off like flies. So please, if you know that a group like Funkatopia, like, Michael Dean's and stuff. If you know that these are legitimate things, please support them. They need, they need to be supported as much as you possibly can. I feel like I need to be putting up that banner, Michael. I feel like here we go. Yeah, okay. Funkatopia Live is not endorsed or affiliated. Well, I feel like I got to put up this scroll.
Cool. No, I agree, because I mean, it's like we don't speak for them. We're not, we don't have a dog in the fight, really. We're just consumer advocates, I suppose.
Yeah, it is
best.
Yeah, and we're, we are all about trying to do whatever we can to preserve Prince's legacy. And for those audio folks, basically it says Funkatopia Live is not endorsed or affiliated with Prince, Paisley Park, or the Prince Estate. All commentary here is just us talking. It's just Michael Bland and myself just chatting. It's all rumor and conjecture unless you hear otherwise from an official source.
Rumor and conjecture.
That's it. Rumorandconjecture.com. So I'm going to leave this scroll up because this is an important one for sure. It is.
We're going to keep talking about it, definitely.
Yeah, we're just going to leave this one up. Right. So let's talk about the celebration here while we can. Where the AI bots shut us down. If you're going to the celebration for the first time, because we're going to talk a little bit at the celebration, and I don't want any negativity or anything, because I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that tonight. I know people kind of know exactly a bit going. That's Hendrix, isn't it? Did I just hear Hendrix?
Oh, Bootsy.
It was a Hendrix.
We'll have to get we got to get a cat named.
You got to get another cat now. But let me just say this, because just in case you start seeing things in chat that kind of set a little bit negative, listen, I don't want to discourage you whatsoever. If you are going to the celebration this year for the first time, congratulations. You're going to have an amazing time coming to Minnesota and visiting Paisley Park and Chanhassen, and also downtown Minneapolis and all that it has to offer. The first time you come and you do a celebration, it's amazing. The Purple Homeland is the best. I mean, the people, the love that you feel, I've said it a million times, as Prince fans, we're in this bubble, and it's very, very rare that you go out and just meet somebody who's like a really rabid Prince fan, or that appreciates Prince as much as you do. So this is a really great opportunity to be able to get into town and just feel the love. I mean, it's really incredible. It's incredible for sure. And I was going to discuss the schedule that they posted, but I want to make sure that it's clear that I'm not going to put out any bad or negative energy out there in a wide open forum like this. I'm just not doing it. And I only say that because I know that I've been super analytical before, but it doesn't really serve anything other than bitching for the sake of bitching and moaning. And I just and so like-minded people can go, yeah. But then what? It doesn't kind of make any sense.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that venting doesn't change anything, because sometimes it does. I mean, I feel like we pleaded the case. People that come to Celebration don't want Purple Rain 2.0. And that's really kind of how they marketed it starting last year, right after the last celebration. And and that
it just seems a little counterintuitive to me, because
right, exactly.
Fairweather Prince fans, whoever's interested in Purple Rain 2.0, those are the people in the middle. But they're also the people who are not going to spend out of pocket for something, less than a rare experience. I really think that that it would be a good thing to embrace, the roads less traveled.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, and the message was heard, I think, because, then the end result was they made some significant adjustments to the agenda, and there's pretty much no Purple Rain in that mix. And I mean, I would like to think that we had some type of impact on that decision to kind of change things up, or maybe they had some internal discussions, or you find folks out there kind of, sharing your thoughts.
Sure.
But, needless to say, they are covering some of the things that we said you should cover this.
Great, good on them, man. Listen,
yeah, I mean, yeah, man, for sure.
A good idea is a good idea, no matter who's got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's just say they did post a schedule. I did have some concerns with the way this kind of schedule is laid out, but listen, we want these events to be successful, because ultimately, if these events are not successful, they'll stop doing them altogether. They'll just be like, the celebration is not worth our time and our effort. You guys, all you guys are going to do is complain. Then then we're done here. They're just going to kind of just look at us and be like,
shut up already, damn. Shut up already, damn.
That's what they're going to be like.
They might be doing that right this second.
They could be, but people have already bought tickets, so I think we're safe this year.
All right.
But anyways, we obviously we don't want them to do that, but anyways,
we only speak on it because we care.
Yeah, I mean,
we want to see things flourish. We don't want Prince's memory to languish in obscurity.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
you would think that, anyways, all that being said, let's look at the schedule together, shall we?
Let's look,
because it's obvious that when we're talking here, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. And I definitely want to maintain a good relationship with the powers that be. I have my own personal feelings towards it all, but I am not about burning bridges. I would love to be able to help in whatever way I possibly can. I definitely would love to help. Matter of fact, I have another clip.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. You know what I'm saying?
I've said that many times in life.
Yes. But it doesn't really seem like they're really kind of entertaining or acknowledging any input from anyone. I guess that's kind of where people kind of feel that way. Like, I think that what most people are complaining about is that they don't feel as if they're being heard. And that seems like an easy fix. Just maybe, I've invited them on the shows multiple times to say, hey, just come out, we're not here on an attack session. We're just come out, share what's going on, share the good news, tell us what's happening. This is not we wouldn't bring you on the show to fight you. We want to know what's happening. We kind of want to be able to share some of the inside stuff and take some of that heat off, because right now I feel like people don't feel like they're being heard. People don't feel like they're listening. And it just, that's kind of where people are at. So anyways, sure. I think if they were just a little more transparent about what they were doing, some of the challenges and negative feedback stuff would kind of just lighten up, but maybe they just don't have, time to do it. I mean, we have a very highly targeted audience for them. We have 100,000 followers across all of our social platforms, and they are very much engaged. And on top of that, they're all purple. So, I mean, just like I said, help me help you. All right, let me share the clip. Let me shut up already and not share the clip, but share the screen. Let me see if I can even pull up the screen. Yeah, we're going to pull up the schedule. The celebration, and it is up if you guys want to see it. Obviously, you know what's going on with the performing artists. There's More Stay in the Time, Jesse Johnson, The Family, Johnny Venus. For those who don't know who Johnny Venus is, I had actually forgotten, and I remembered now that I kind of looked into it. But you definitely don't. You probably don't know who Johnny Venus is. They're an Atlanta band actually called Earth Gang, and it's him and
oh boy, I know Earth Gang, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the other guy is, but yeah, Earth Gang's really, really great. Well, this Johnny is a member of Earth Gang, and now he's doing a solo thing, but I don't know anything about his solo stuff. I did go to Spotify, and he's got like 3 singles on there, so I'm not sure if maybe he might be doing some other. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, so new artist showcase or more artists to be announced. It says more artists to be announced. I'm curious who that is, and I'll tell you what the reasoning for that. Special appearances by Bobby Z, Lori Lipuma, and Doug Henders. Those last 2 names I just read are worked on the Around the World in a Day album in various fashions, and it's the 40th anniversary this year. Also, Paul Peterson, good friend of the show. Jelly Bean Johnson, good friend of the show. Jerome Benton, Susanna Melvoin, Eric Leeds, good friend of the show. But yeah, so it says that they're going to have some additional event location details on May 7th. So tomorrow there's stuff happening. So let's look at the VIP Purple schedule, because the schedules that are up here cover the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you scroll down, you see the VIP Purple and the VIP Gold are exact same schedules minus some timing and shuffling difference. It's like 2 different waves of scenarios. But then they also have the general admission, which obviously has a much more slimmed down version of things. But I really kind of want to focus on the VIP thing right now. General admission's awesome. So again, if you're going to Celebration for the first time and you got GA and you're like twiddling your thumbs and really like stressed out whether or not you made the right choice, you're fine. Either way, you're good. You're going to have a great time. It's a fantastic, fun event, especially if you're going for the first time because you get to be with all your folk. On Thursday, June 5th, it's pretty much a VIP day because the VIP folks are given a guided tour from 10:30 to 12:30. Well, it says it's a 60-minute guided tour. Oh, it's group 1 and group 2. So, and then they actually do lunch there. There's only VIP folks, and then they see Prince in concert, whatever concert it is. From what I have heard, I can't say what I heard. I forgot that somebody who told me which concert this is, that was not to be revealed yet. So I know what concert it is. That it's happening. Let me get out of that. But if you look down at general admission, as you can see, you guys are doing nothing. You're not doing all those fun things that the VIP is doing on Thursday, but you do still have the kickoff DJ dance party, which I think is the DJ dance party is at First Avenue. So you get to go to First Avenue on Thursday. That's going to be the first thing that you do. Mm-hmm. Cool. And that goes until 1. Friday is an interesting day, and this is the one that's gotten the most feedback because if you recall, Jesse Johnson told me when I asked him, I said, what night are you playing? And he says, I'm playing on Friday night. And I said, oh, cool. That's cool. And then when Paul Peterson dropped in, was it a couple weeks later, Paul says, oh, we're playing on Friday night. And I was thinking to myself, and remember he joked, oh, maybe Jesse's opening for us. Mm. And we were like, ha, 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 ha.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, come to find out, well, first off, before we talk about the night, they are going to be doing they're doing an exclusive unreleased audio listening session they're playing unreleased music. Again, this is just for VIP folks. But then at 11:30 to 1, Around the World in a Day panel with Bobby Z, Doug Henders, and Lori LaPuma. And they do a little bit of a break, and then the doors open, and then they do the 40th anniversary of the family with the group, Paul, Jellybean, Jerome, Susan Melvoin, and Eric Leeds. And then that night, I think this is happening, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure it's happening I think it's happening in downtown. I don't know where. Last year it was at the State Theater, but then I had also heard somebody say that it was going to be at Paisley Park. The performance was going to be at Paisley Park. But if you notice, it is from 9 to 12, which means it's a 3-hour window, and every single band is playing in that window.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. So you have here's what I'm thinking. Johnny Venus, because he's a new solo act that people aren't really familiar with, maybe they give him 15 minutes. Then they give maybe the family 30 minutes. And then maybe Morris Day on the Time and Jesse Johnson 45 minutes. And
Jesse ain't going like that.
I know he doesn't.
Jesse needs at least an hour to stretch out.
Oh, yeah, because one night I was talking with Jesse on the phone, and he says, when I play less than an hour and a half, he says, I hate it. It's because I'm not in the groove. I'm not I can't get into that motion. I kind of feel like, yeah. And you have to get into that. You have to get into that mode. And he kind of feels like, he just feels a certain sort of way. And I'm sure that, Morris Day of the Time is they've done that before. I've seen them intentionally do shows before. And the family, the family's great, but I think, they just have the one album. Well, they had the After Lex stuff, but they're not going to play the After Lex stuff tonight, I wouldn't think. But
Who
that's
knows?
kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know how this is going to work. And if this is the lineup that they're talking about, is that the lineup from top to bottom, that Morris Day and the Time is the headliner and the Family is opening up for Morris Day and Jesse Johnson is right after the opening act? I don't know. So here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of people are real. I'm just saying, I'm avoiding negativity. I'm avoiding any of that stuff. And I'm just saying a 3-hour window for all of those bands on this night. When I saw that lineup, I thought, okay, so, Morris Day and the Time will play one night. The Family will play another night since it's happening 4 days.
Well, yeah.
And then Jesse will play on the night. And maybe Johnny Venus plays during the gospel brunch or, I don't know. I thought that they would spread it out, but for them to all be in yeah, go ahead.
They don't even seem like there's enough time for changeover.
Yeah, it'd be 15-minute changeover if they did what I suggested, where Johnny Venus has 15 minutes, one of those 3 bands has 30, and the other 2 have 45. That's exactly 3 hours with 15-minute breaks.
All right. Well, I'm sure they have their reasons, but I don't I don't know how you're going to make that work.
I don't either. I think it's a logistical nightmare for those bands.
Or they know something we don't.
Right. Exactly. They know something that we don't.
Let me give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
You
know, I always end up here, and I've tried to get better about this with myself in saying, I just
Shut up already. Damn.
we don't know.
I don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
But that's what's happening. It's a
right.
but here's the other possibility. Here's the other thing I'm thinking. You got Jerome and Jellybean and Jesse Johnson and Morris Day all in the same room. Maybe, obviously there's a little bit of a time thing going on there that you could obviously maybe make happen. But when I asked Jesse about that, he said that's not
That's not part of the deal.
It wasn't part of what they discussed. Not saying that it couldn't happen, because he also told me that he wasn't going to be participating in the celebration at that point when I talked to him.
Okay.
And that's changed.
Yeah.
So maybe this could change too. So again, you're right. That's exactly my take, is that maybe they know something that we don't know. I have not been watching the chat room. Have you been paying attention to the chat room?
A little bit, but I mean, a couple of people in here, I'm kind of purposefully just kind of
not reading stuff because and I'm sure it's in here. Yeah, I'm sure it's in. Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was that small. I guess I could try to make this bigger so that it's better visible.
Yeah, I was having my bifocals weren't even letting me see what I need to see.
Yeah, I was trying to make it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was looking at the actual tab. Yeah. So again, there you have the Friday night, and it's to have all those bands in that 3-hour window. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. That's a lot of things. Okay, so then you move on to Saturday night or Saturday. Doors open at 9, and you have the open house at Paisley Park. So from 9 to 1 that you can walk around. You can walk around the facility and just look at whatever you want to look at. But then that's during the morning time. But then they have the block party that is happening in downtown Minneapolis that starts at 2:00. You have, but at Paisley, I guess this is, I wonder if this is at the 11:30 to 1:30. They have a panel. I'm assuming this is happening at Paisley Park. I can't imagine, but they talked about new music releases. They're going to be discussing new music releases, unreleased concert footage, documentaries, FAM partnerships. This was curious to me. FAM partnerships, because they are planning, I guess they're making some plans to partner with Purple Fam.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't know who that may be. I did ask all the people that I know, and all of them were like, I don't know. They said nothing to me. So I was just like, so whoever, maybe they haven't reached out to that fam yet. I don't know. Anyways, and
Rodney says it's downtown.
Oh, it is downtown.
It says downtown.
Okay. Well, it says it does say panel and block party. Okay, so that's gonna be in downtown Minneapolis. I assume.
Thank you, Rodney.
maybe State Theater. Maybe that's what it is. Anyways, and then of course the 10-year anniversary celebration of life and more, which is next year on April, whatever it is. So we talked about that. Then you have the block party for downtown. So this particular part of it, the panel, and the open house at Paisley Park is basically what's going on for Saturday for you folks. The downtown block party, I'm assuming they can't block out the general public like it was 2 years ago when they had the block party down there, or was it last year? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. But I'm assuming they're going to allow the general public to kind of go in there. You wouldn't want just the people that are in the celebration to be a part of this, because you put them in that huge block, that area that's outside of First Avenue and all that, out in front of the mural or whatever. That is, that won't look impressive. So you got to
allow it to fill up. Yeah,
you got to let it go on. And then pretty much Sunday is pretty much for VIP folks, because if you look at, well, no, that's not true. This year I think it's a little bit different. General admission folks get their walkthrough tour with the exclusive Prince concert footage. I guess that VIP saw the previous day previous day's Thursday. And then they have a bunch of outdoor testimonials and activations, the walkthrough tour, the concert footage from 3:30 to 5, and then that's it. Then it's over. So I guess what's interesting here is that I wonder if they would have much success. Again, this is me just talking. I wonder if they would actually have any success this year selling those individual day tickets, because when they did it last year or the year before, Rodney, you can tell me which one was right. But when they did it, there was, if you go out at this time, you got to see Morris Day. If you bought it this time, then you got to see the Revolution here. If you got to, whatever day you picked, you that's basically what you got to do. But in this particular case, who wouldn't buy Friday? Because you have the Around the World in a Day panel, you have the 40th anniversary of the family panel, and you have the concert with all of the acts on Friday. And then any other day, you have the block party, which is open to the general public, and then this. So I don't see single day tickets happening on this year. I just don't see it. There's nothing to that would be sensical for this. So anyways, so that's kind of where it's at. It's an interesting schedule. I'm surprised that they released this schedule as early as they did. But let me just say, I'm glad that they're doing this event. And if you want to see more of the schedule, obviously you can just go to the URL on Paisley Park. If you go to paisleypark.com and you click on events, it's not there. I don't know why Celebration 2025 is not there underneath events. If you click on it has, because I guess they have their own link, but if it says upcoming events, it doesn't show anything on events. But I guess it has its own link, and it's got everything on here. All the information that you would want to know regarding hotels, the packages and everything and all that. So definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's an interesting schedule. It's interesting how they have it laid out. But here's the other thing too that I was thinking about. A lot of times in the previous years when they would pack all of the days with full of stuff, people would always complain that they were trapped. It's like, I'm in Minneapolis. I want to be here. And now I'm stuck here from friggin' 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning until the nighttime. And it's just it's so frustrating. And I can't, I want to be able to kind of go out and do things, and I can't because they got me booked from 10 to blah, 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 blah. And, this technically is their reaction to that too. It's like, okay, we will lighten the load up a little bit here for you and allow you to kind of be able to have a little bit more freedom to kind of go check out some of the activations and things that are around town. For those that don't know, the celebrationtrip.com is still active. If you've never seen celebrationtrip.com, it's really, really cool. I can kind of show it to you, but a lot of you have seen the spreadsheet that is online where you can, so I'm trying to pull this up here. The spreadsheet where it has all the events that are going on in and around Minneapolis. And on top of that, some of the things that you may be interested in seeing. And on celebration.com, which is a website that I had put together, Bonnie Freshour, the amazing Bonnie Freshour, helped me put together that spreadsheet in a map format as well. So it shows you all of the different places that are available. So if you click on anything, it will tell you exactly what it is. That's the Park Avenue. It would tell you what it is. That's where Prince and Maite got married. And if you click on that, it will show you that's the Minnesota Dance Theater, and it also has a link to kind of go over. So all of those things are on there. Plus, on top of that, what's really cool is that you click on the events tab. It will also, if you scroll through, I think it shows you everything that's happening. Here's June. It's showing the Purple Playground Indigo Experience with Adrian Crutchfield, Dance with Damon, Dr. Mambo's Combo is playing Forever in My Life on the 4th, the Gold Experience, Purple Musical. It's everything is there. On the 10th, it's got everything that you want. And then when you click on it, it gives you all the information about where to get tickets, where to buy stuff. It's a pretty awesome little resource for you to go to and check it out. So if you are planning to go, and this is by design where they're wanting to give you a good opportunity to be able to get out there and really experience Minnesota, then good on them. They were paying attention. Yeah. But I think that there really obviously needs to be a little bit of, I guess there needs to be a little bit of a balance, but I don't know that you're going to be able to find that balance unless you kind of swing one way hard or swing the other way hard and then find out where the pieces are going to drop.
I agree. I think they have to experiment. I just think that whoever the production manager is going to be on that night that the bands are playing,
man, good luck.
Yes, I don't understand. I don't believe it's physically. I suppose it's physically possible, but only if you shave the time down that the bands are on stage. But then it's like, wow, what? You're gonna have everybody do 2-3 songs?
Do they have a curfew scenario at or whatever they call it? I guess it's still called a curfew, right? Where they make you stop in different communities for playing. But do they have anything like that at Paisley Park that you know of in Chanhassen? Where they say,
I can't imagine that there's any neighbors close enough to complain about the noise.
Yeah,
they complain about the traffic or the hubbub, But I don't think you can hear anything from outside.
Well, and again, my feedback on this is that, look, Michael and I are about the same age, and we are people that have lived and breathed Purple since the early 80s, over 4 decades of our lives. Michael has obviously played with the man.
Yeah, I took mine intravenously. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. He was a direct shot. I mean, this was just like, for sure. And so, we've given the estate some incredible ideas over the years, and especially over the past few weeks. I think I went into details in a lot of different things about, things that they could do that would be really, really great, that would really move Prince's legacy forward. It's not just about the celebration. It's not just about, hey, remember what happened on this day. It's about, because if you get into that rut, then all you're doing is just rehashing history over and over and over and over again, instead of going, okay, well, now what? We need to move this forward. So, how do we get to those kids and teach them music? How do we raise and move forward with the next wave, this next generation of musicians? And
right.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, you can go ahead. I mean,
the rebirth of the Minneapolis sound is imminent. It just needs to be nurtured and protected and pushed forward. That's it. You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's some things that people are begging for that you're hearing, and there's a general population consensus of we want new music, we want new this, and we want new that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. But again, we're talking about Prince's legacy. So this is great that we're getting new music, and there's supposed to be, this year is supposed to be pretty big for that kind of stuff. So that's cool. That's really, really great. We want it. That's great. Bring it. But on the same note, we have to be able to create new experiences like what Cory Wong is doing, and these recording processes, and just utilizing that studio for what it is, an amazing state of the art. Even though they haven't really updated much it's still cutting edge. It's still cutting edge stuff that's in there, and iconic, some things that don't even exist in any other studio in the nation. So, we need to move the legacy forward and set a standard, set that bar, and keep it moving. I mean, marketing is we talk about marketing is my full-time job. That is my full-time job. It's what I do for a living. And both of us have been in the music industry for most of our lives. You way more than I have, obviously. So we have ideas, and we can help. But I also realize that
this is a business, and you ain't too far gone to see that yet.
So I get it. So,
buddy.
Buddy. But as far as the schedule they post is, we chatted about that, and it's great. I'm glad to see that they're communicating there, and we said we want you to communicate more. We want you to divulge the information quicker. We want to see what's going on, and now they do it, and people are complaining. It's just like they gave you what you asked for, and now you're bitching. It's like, listen, we can't win with you. We can't win with you people.
It's a delicate dance, man. It's a delicate dance.
It's a very delicate dance. Yeah. So it is. It is. And I think it's, while we're sitting here, it's really, really important to denote. I have no disdain whatsoever for the estate or, all the politics and all the legal stuff that they're going through. It doesn't really, I'm not on that side of things. And I realized the contentiousness of some of that's even a word of that, but I just, that's not what the fans and everything want. That's not what they want. That they want to see. They want the new music. They want the new videos. But for me, while those things are great, it's so important that we have to establish Prince's legacy through that studio, through that through Paisley Park, and do things, be creative, and do things that are outside of that box to keep his name in the mix and keep things moving forward. And I'm not just talking about dropping one of his songs in a MasterCard commercial. I'm talking about doing something that has legitimate impact on the music industry and what he fought for. And I mean, whether that's, social things, whatever it is, it has to be done. And I think, the purple community has got plenty of ideas, and not all of them are just give us new music. There's people out there that actually do care.
Sure.
See, Rodney, I can play nice.
Yeah. Yes, but it's the difference again between, this place where people come to see, I come to see historical artifacts, and all that stuff is fine. I agree. I think that but if you languish, if you rest on your laurels and you don't really consider finding active ways to make Prince relevant, not just somebody you're studying, or it's like, oh, I remember that. Like there's I don't know. Yeah. It's a real opportunity for someone who wants to do that. I'm not sure what their motivation is exactly. All these things we're talking about, maybe they may have a completely different outlook.
Well, as Spicer said directly to me, there's things that you just don't know. There's things that the things that you don't know that you're not privy to. So that's the reason
And
why
we're not interested in telling you. So
yes, right.
know.
So I mean, and again, when you have scenarios, especially with everything that's going on with them with the litigious nature of everything that's happening,
sure,
here, there, and everywhere, it's just okay. They've also got to be super careful about what they say and when they say it, because there's so many things that are riding on they have plenty of detractors, let's put it that way. And just so we're clear, we're not one of them. Just so we're clear, we want the new music, we want to help, we want to do whatever we possibly can to kind of help you move that needle, but there's got to be some there's got to be some give and play. But
sure. I think Joni has a valid question, but I'm not really sure how to answer it. She's asking
I'll pull it up for you. Did P have any more trademarked, copyrighted, innovative instruments or equipment designs that the estate could release these products under his brand?
Most of that, if you're talking about like the guitar designs and whatnot, that's all taken care of itself.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, there's people manufacturing the cloud. You got the mad, is it the bad cat or the mad cat?
Mad cat.
I mean, that's essentially already ongoing to the degree that I think they could, really. The Purple Axe, a wireless MIDI, keyboard that spits, what is it? Smoke like fog. I don't know who's going to buy that.
Well, yeah, and even as far, the copyright trademark stuff is one thing, but until you get somebody in there or in that building that can be able to discern between Prince's bass and Sonny's left-handed bass, until you get somebody who can actually discern what's what and kind of be able to properly inventory the things that are going on, and from a historian's statement, like, oh, this happened, somebody that's really like, oh, that is from this to this, and that's you got to have somebody in that in that position.
Yeah, she's asked a follow-up question, or she's trying to specify. She's saying it's right underneath her first comment.
Yes.
No, I mean his own designs from his any design from his brain. I have no. Anything he didn't express, I have no knowledge of. I can't speak on what I don't know. What I can tell you is that, somebody, even Odell from Mint Condition told me Prince gave him a cloud guitar. I think you've seen no drum machines. You can't take drum machines to the next level. Everybody's being an archivist. Nobody's going forward with drum machines. There's a new Lin machine that's out.
Yeah, my brother just told me he just saw a Lin 9000 or something on something that online or whatever.
And the other problem is that I hate to say it, but a lot of these things that people think Prince invented were things that he just made popular. He was not an inventor.
and Rodney says also you have to consider, along with Londell and Charles and the family, you have primary wave in the mix. And I'll just say this freely because I feel like all these people that are really kind of stomping their feet about the music, that's a primary wave thing. So you got to kind of figure out what, I honestly don't know how much of it is even a primary wave thing, because, primary wave I don't think that they can just willy-nilly go, all right, we're just releasing this, because I think there has to be some type of say-so or some type of checks and balances as far as, now you can't do that yet because we're planning this or this, that, and the other.
Not only that, if it's true that he didn't leave a will, you think he went through all the trouble of patents and that Purple Axe was built on his request. There are no others in the world, and I think the technology that he used at the time is more or less obsolete at this point. There's so many different ways to make music now.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too controversial, but I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe he died without a will. I'm sorry. Hey, listen. I'm just saying.
I hated in front. I said, if that's true.
If that's true, I know. And the only reason why I think that, again, rumor and conjecture, ain't nobody but some stupid ass white boy talking right now. Let me just say,
it's always coming around. Right when you get to the most controversial point of the evening.
let me just say, for somebody who fought so diligently and trying to get all of his work back and finally get him back in his possession and get him under his control, to accomplish something like that and be like, okay, I'm good, and to not sit down and go, okay, now let me make sure this shit doesn't happen again. I mean, but it could just been a timing thing. I don't know. It just seems really suspect. So I don't know.
You're not telling me nothing I haven't considered
I
already.
know.
But let me Joni, we can't keep harping about this. That thing that you're talking about, Stevie Wonder is already the head endorser of that. And
Gotcha.
you can't have Prince related to any new inventions if he's not here to endorse it. It's counterintuitive, Joni. I understand. But you got a peculiar glitch in your get along. I got you, Joni. That dog is not going to hunt.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, yeah, so there's a lot of different things going on. And then, all I got to say is that I am looking forward to June for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun getting up there. You're going to hang out. You're going to show me this. What is this? Ping's Wings? What is this place that you were talking about?
I'll tell you exactly where to go for it's a place called, I'll have to check and see if they're still open, but it's a place called Ping's.
Ping's
and
Wings.
It's a place, my wife is shaking her head no, like it's closed. Now she's shaking her head yes, so it must be closed.
Oh, that's a shame. That sucks.
Sorry, man.
Well,
them ain't the only chicken wings in town that that are worth driving out of your way for, but we can discuss it.
Yeah.
We'll get you hooked up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got you, Roddy. Roddy says, take a poll. How many listeners have a will now? It's possible. Oh yeah, it's possible. But we're also talking. Yeah. And I shouldn't have said shit anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know what else I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah. Oh,
next week.
Watch out, man. Watch out.
Next Tuesday.
Watch out, man.
The funktastic, bombastic bass goddess Rhonda Smith is going to be with us next Tuesday.
Yes.
And I thought, when we had that long list of amazing artists that were going to be on the show. I mean, everybody from we had David Garibaldi, we had last week, we had Cory Wong this week, we had Rhonda Smith next week, and then after that we have Fred Wesley. It's insane, the lineup. But the one that got the most people were like, "Oh, I'm tuning into this woman right here, Rhonda Smith,
because she's bad."
Yeah. So, yeah, she's a bad girl. So yeah, it's happening next week. Rhonda Smith's going to be with us live right here in person, taking questions, and do not try to send pictures over the chat room. It doesn't work. So we sending her any pics, any love letters,
any kind of pics. That's right.
So, but yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Rhonda in the house next Tuesday, and then as I just mentioned, in the following week, that's May 13th. So put it in your calendar. And the following week, Fred Wesley, the undisputed trombone master.
Man, listen,
James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic. He was Fred. Fred.
Hold it, Fred. You should have had Aunt Esther on cue. Hold it, Fred. I think you owe us an explanation.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to, there's certain people, I am super excited about Rhonda, but there's also certain people that I've had on the show that I'm just like, I got to make sure that this person gets their dues. Like, Fred Wesley. And then of course I had, Bernard Purdy on, and then, I had one thing that I was super happy that I got to interview Lamont Dozier.
Oh, right on, man.
I bought Lamont Dozier in, and I said, I have to give this man his flowers. And Absolutely. It was so amazing. And then a couple years later, he passed away. And I was just so happy that I was able to get some time with him. And I, sometimes it doesn't always work out. I mean, I literally was in the process of booking Bernie Worrell to come on the show. Was working with his wife. We were booking the show, but then he passed away and never happened and never came to fruition. I was like, man. So I kind of felt like I really need to make sure that we are honoring the masters. People, and I'm doing it. And some guys like Scott Goldfine, he does a lot of good stuff. He like makes sure that he goes in and pulls all these masters and gets them interviewed and gets them documented. But man, anyways, we will see you next week for sure. When we're going to welcome the one and only Rhonda Smith in the mix, and I'm so excited about it. It's just going to be a lot of fun. She's going to be fun.
Should I answer this? Or maybe you just grabbed the question I was about to answer.
This one?
Yes, that was it. I was where I was going to go.
All right. The question was for you audio folks, Michael, what in your opinion was the best era of live Prince?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can't clearly. I can't say my own, but I will say is this: the Sign of the Times Love Sexy band was incredible.
Yeah,
I think there was a level of excitement to also just Prince, just the place he was in his career at that time. It was like he really was just sort of just going his own way, man. You know what I mean? It's just
for
like
sure.
He finally just said, listen, I don't have to subscribe to anyone's view. I mean, the show is incredible. Sign of the Times movie, man. You know how many times I went to the Uptown Theater and saw that movie on the weekends when I was a kid.
Yeah. I only saw it twice in the theater because it was like in and out of the theater like super quick here in Atlanta. Yeah. Well, where we were, but I mean, it was just like I still was just like I saw Purple Rain. I don't even know how many times I saw Purple Rain.
I got you. And what had happened was they had stopped making sense by the Talking Heads, and then they got Sign of the Times, and that was like the first time they had changed it since. Man. But they also had the Rocky Horror Picture Show for a while. So anyway, that was my favorite band that I was not in. They were actually the original. They were the original New Power Generation. Fink cleared that up when he was on. So Rodney, no, they had a name. Just Prince wasn't ready to tell nobody.
Yeah.
Levi had that black and yellow suit on that said New Power Generation on it. I remember. Or maybe it just said MPG. But I can see it. I can see it. I can't quite tell what the words are, but I know that was the first time I took notice.
And in the Love Sexy tour, I do remember at the Love Sexy tour, when I saw it in Atlanta, they did have a banner that said, "We are the New Power Generation."
Yeah.
There was a banner that was like on the side, and I was like, who's that? And I do remember that was the first time I remember seeing that. And but it was just like the Revolution. Prince was calling the band the Revolution during 1999, but he didn't call it the Revolution in 99. It was just on the album cover backwards in the 9.
Same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like
or
no
whatever
evidence, no clear consumer evidence that was what was taking place. But that was where the New Power Generation started.
Yeah, pretty bad. And besides yours, obviously, I'm always slanted towards the 90s live because there was so much energy and so much power, and it was just like punch you in the chest, testicle rattling, friggin'. It was just bombastic, and it was amazing. You guys were phenomenal back then. But if I had to choose something outside of that, I can't really think of too many live bands that even the early days, when Fink was touring and they were doing the Dirty Mind stuff, that was just like this raw energy. But if I had to pick one besides yours, I would have to say the whatever they called themselves, the One Night Alone group, which was Renato Neto, Rhonda, John Blackwell. I mean that the Najee was on. Played sat in with them. It was just that sound that. It was the sound, and it was so tight and so meticulous. It was just, just nothing sounded like that. I mean, that's the reason why they got that box set on it, because it was just so clean, dude. Oh my God.
That's the best part, is that every band had its own identity, its own kind of sound to it, So I think but just me personally, like the moment I really got turned on was with the Love Sexy and the Sign of the Times band. I was like, wow, look at what Prince is doing. And all that after Parade, which is still probably my favorite album of his, which is, best songs, best mix, best marketing, terrible movie. I don't care. Under the Cherry Moon soundtrack to me is, I think, if from all sides, probably the best.
Well, and on top of that, I Wonder You was an amazing track to close a mixtape with when you didn't have enough room for a full song.
Oh, sure.
You could always put Wonder You in that little window. It's like, man, I only got a minute 45. I was like, oh, guess it's going to end with I Wonder You.
I didn't know. You give me the DJ scoop on it. All right, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he always had that mixtape and it's like, I don't want a minute and a half of silence. I Wonder You.
Yep.
or some Fishbone clip.
Yeah. Ass whoop number 3.
Oh my God, some of that stuff was just retarded. Sorry.
Yes. Hey, listen, we both love Angelo, but I'm like, man, I bought records of theirs that I listened to once and put right in the
yeah, like Give a Monkey a Brain is one of those.
Those dudes are crazy. I'm like, I'm a fan, and in my heart, you got me, Angelo. I can't listen to it all though, brother. I just don't have the intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, and when he gets into his mad vibe state, man, he's just okay, we're done here now. He's just like, but Cooley says, I'm always surprised by the amount of cussing by him during the 90s concert. Seemed out of character. You know, surprisingly enough, back in those days, because of our age, really didn't think much about it. But now that we gotten older and you listen to it, you're like, wow, there was a lot of profanity, but we were like singing it just as loud as he was back in the day. But
that only really happened after Rosie left. He was pretty respectful when Rosie was around. He didn't do all that cussing, you know. But when she left, it kind of freed him up to just kind of, you know, all right, now I can relax. Yeah.
It was the anniversary of that show that you guys did on that Paris concert. It was like it was just recently, like over the past couple of days, there was an appearance that you guys did. It was the anniversary of that. And I've been seeing like clips pop up on X of the rehearsal session that you guys did.
Oh, from Canal Plus. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
The day we almost died. Yes.
What happened when you almost died?
We were flying from Monte Carlo that morning after playing at Stars and Bars. And we went for the World Music Awards. That was where Whitney Houston put her hand on my shoulder. And I was like, who's touching me? She was behind me. I couldn't see her. And Tommy and Morris and Sonny all stopped eating. And they're and I hear, I just want to tell you, brother, you be playing them drums up there. She just, and I recognized her voice. I was like, Whitney Houston touching me? She had a ring on. The diamond looked like one of those sucker rings from like when you're a kid. That diamond was so
a ring pop. A ring
it
pop.
looked like a ring pop. But they're like, Whitney Houston ain't got no fake rings on.
Oh my God.
She freaked me out, man.
Yeah, that's great.
But the flight to France to do that at Canal Plus, the plane went on a descent like that went on for about like 20-30 seconds. And we're all exhausted. And so I wake up like, why is this plane just and we start looking at each other over the seats and whatnot, like, is this it? You know, and finally, and my heart was in my neck the rest of the day. We went to the hotel. We felt like we had come so close, you know, and then we had to go to the studio or to the TV studio to tape that. So we were just all kind of freaked out that day, man.
Yeah, that's an air traffic control call there. That's somebody flying at the same height, and somebody had to go down, and it was you guys.
Literally like, what happened? What's going on with the pilot? The pilot ate some bad foie gras. We're going down. he drank some bad Armagnac. What's wrong? Get him some wine. Is he French? Wake him up. Give him some vino.
Well, let me just say it's always great to be able to see those clips and to kind of see you guys doing your thing, and it just brings you ever like look and see those clips pop up and you click on them or click on them and you're just like get sucked into a memory. You're like, oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clips of you out there, brother. It's like a lot because everything's happening is really cyclical, like you were saying. It is happening all over again, man.
It's all coming back. I mean, people are hey, that's all right with me, man. You know,
yeah, it should be. Because you get honored that way. I mean, it's just as I said, I've told you this. But it's not lost on me that the co-host of Funkatopia is the mighty Michael Bland. It's not lost on me. Just I'm telling you,
right, man. We just folks. We all God's children, man. I come here so I can be myself. You know, man. So I appreciate you. You know, give me the space to do so, man.
Man, it's an honor. And everybody in this chat room knows who the winner is in this on the screen. But let me tell you, I hope you guys will join us both next weekend as we welcome again the mighty Rhonda Smith. May 13th is going to be a great show. We're going to have a lot of fun, and of course, you know, you guys probably have tons of stories too. So we're gonna hear them. So sure.
I love it, man. Yeah, I was surprised she said yes. She said yes right away. God bless her.
Well, we said we were gonna, you know, I think originally we were talking about doing a pre-recording, and then I guess something happened on that day that she was able to just do it. So great, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are doing well. Again, a couple quick announcements. We have these new awesome mugs. Uptown Radio. Just go to funkatopia.com/shop. It's got Uptown Radio on one side, and then it's got Funked Up logo on the other side. Brand new mugs in the store, funkatopia.com/shop. Be sure that if you do not have your celebration tickets, if you plan to go, please go. Just go to paisleypark.com, click on Celebration 2025, get those tickets. Even if you can't afford the VIP thing, it's all good. Don't sweat it. Just get the GA. It's worth your time to be able to come out here and hang with the Purple folks. I'll be in the Minneapolis area that day. I will be hanging out and doing whatnot. But man, it's just you gotta be able to check that out. And again, make sure that you also bookmark celebrationtrip.com so that when you're here in Minneapolis, you can see all the really cool Prince landmarks, everything. I even documented those power boxes that have like the Prince murals that individual artists or independent artists have done. I've even got those in there. So yeah, we're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun, man. We're going to have some fun.
No, Rodney, I was not on the Jam of the Year tour, man. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Sorry. I was fired by then. I was somewhere in Europe. I was gone.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of movement, a lot of band movement for sure.
A lot of movement. Yeah, movement. A lot of movement. Yes.
Yeah, we'll call it
a lot of people coming in.
We'll call it a movement right now. We'll call it.
Yes, let's.
Let's just
we don't
call
have
it that.
to say what kind, but it was a movement.
All right, ladies and gents, we will see you next week with Rhonda Smith. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be around. We're gonna be around. See y'all later. Adios, amigos y amigas. See ya.